listening to M.T.V.B. Podcast. Movies, TV, video and board games. This show may contain swearing.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the M.T.V.B. Podcast, the podcast that talks about movies,
TV shows,
video games,
and board games.
I'm your host Anthony, as well as most people know me as the Ant-Man, and welcome this week's episode. Oh, we're going to go back to talking about those video games that we just love to go back and play. Even though the amount of new games that come out, we go back to these golden oldies. I'm joined by a bunch of guys that love to talk about video games. Guys, please introduce yourselves around the table, please.
Hi, I'm John, JK47.
Hi, I'm Goku.
Hey guys, sorry. Hey guys, it's Gal, aka Grey Fox. Sorry to cut you off.
Cut me off.
How dare you, sir?
How dare
I'm too
you?
eager today. I'm too eager.
But guys, welcome. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
And thanks for coming on an episode that John came up with this idea, guys.
Hey.
Jesus
so
Christ.
Finally contributed, John. You finally did it, mate.
It's incredible.
I
think it'll be a good episode.
I think it will. I think there'll be some good choices in this as well.
Definitely. Yeah, I agree.
Because it's like you say, there's lots of games come out and we pick up the new ones to play them. But in your spare time, there must be a game or a couple of games you go back to when you're bored of the new one.
We got a bet going on. I think we know your top five.
Really?
I don't think you do.
You'll
know one of them.
Well, the thing is that me and Big Gal were placing a few bets at work.
You know one.
You come up with this episode, we're like, I bet it's this, I bet it's that.
We literally
Really?
got a board, just drew up. Yeah, it's this, and then this.
So
Might surprise you.
let's do the usual and do a bunch of questions before our top fives.
Sure.
Yes.
So, John, considering you came up with this idea for this show, explain to people what it means to go back to a game.
Well, it's like you. It's like there's the games on my list are games that some of them I've played probably 10, 15 times. I'll just go back and I might have a character gets to say level 70.
These are older games you're talking about, yeah.
Some of them are older games, yeah. And then it'll be a case of, do you know what, I'll just start a new character and I'll start all over again. Yeah. And one game in particular that's on my list, I've probably got about 10 different characters on it, and they're all in various stages. One of them is endgame, one of them just starting out. I just like and I'll try different characters.
Is this like second world, where it's like 10 versions of you?
Well, in a sense, because it's like the first time round I might play the game as like say a demon hunter or something, and then I might play the game as a different character.
Yeah.
So you get to see the game from a different perspective.
Intrigued now. Pretty good.
Yeah.
What about you guys? What do you think it means to go back to an old game?
I think it depends on the game. Like if the game has a lot of content,
Totally agree.
After it's called probably I think it's end game stuff.
Yeah.
Like after you finish the campaign, you can literally go back. Like John said, maybe play as a character, or there's just stuff to do afterwards, like grind and get the best gear, or get the best weapon, or
you might see a video on YouTube maybe a month or two later or a year later, and someone's been to a certain part and found a certain weapon. You think, damn it, why didn't I find that?
And then you go back.
So now you want to play. Now you want to play the game again, but you've got to start at the beginning. But you don't mind that because you now know. I should have gone to that place all along.
Exactly.
That's what.
Well, back in the day, the DLCs are now, but before it wasn't like that, isn't it? So it was just about.
Well, games were quite linear, weren't they?
So it was so linear.
Now with a lot of these like open world games, there are so many places you could go in the game.
Exactly, it makes you want to.
You can't
play
go to them all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's true. It's like what you said. Like the original, like you said, so linear. Like but then again, like to play that game again, in a sense, gives homage to how much great that game was to you, because it's like I liked it so much. I don't need anything more. I'm playing this again.
Exactly. So there's the other aspect of something that is so good that maybe the story was so good or something, and it's always in your mind. You know what? I'm gonna go play it again, regardless of what's happening. You're just gonna be like, I'm gonna do it.
I mean, it was difficult.
Play it on a different console.
It was a difficult list for me,
or something.
Yeah,
it was a difficult list for me to do.
To
start with, but then I had a little think, and I thought, well, what games have I gone back to the most, and that's where I picked my 5 from. But I've got a load of games that I've gone back to and played at least twice, 3 times. But some of these I've played a lot more, so that's why I've put them in the top 5.
It's true. It's like when you mentioned it, because John, you came up with this episode, and I remember putting it on thinking, oh, this is going to be hard, but that's good because it'll make you think. But then it naturally just came. Like,
I'll be honest, I had like 3 out of the 5, and I was like, what do I do with the other 2?
Yeah,
and I really had to think for a sec.
I changed 2 of mine. To be fair, so but
I think because if you look like, obviously I'm not taking a piss. You're retired and you've got enough time to do it now, and obviously it comes down to an individual. Like whereas like us, you'll get like a certain amount of hours to put into it. So do you rather choose a game that you've already played, go back to grind on it, or do you want to play a new game? And if it's a game that's making you go back and play it again, then it must be a really good game, right?
Yeah, of course. Yes.
So it's just down to individual and down to the game of what it grips you. If it's a story to get you back, or if it's content or DLC at the end. I know some games start with like level caps at the end, in the beginning. As the game goes on, once it's like they open up to level 60 or something. You're like, oh shit, I need to go back. Stuff like that.
One of the games on my list is still listed as early access. So they keep adding stuff to it. So that's why I kind of keep going back to it, because they'll open up another part of the map, or they'll add in new weapons or whatever.
And it's good.
The game actually hasn't released yet.
It's good that companies do that, because that they're still thinking about this game.
They've got they're invested in doing it. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So my next question, hopefully I'm going to get a short answer, just because there's kind of a 2-parter to it. So I'll start with part 1, get a short answer, and then we'll come back to the second part, okay? So how often do you go back to old games?
Good question.
Or older games?
Right.
Depends on the game.
Very, very rarely.
That's one answer.
Very rarely.
Actually,
again, if you see something, you're like, oh yeah, you know what, I need to go back. Like something ticks, like you see something, oh man, I'm going to go back, play that. Go back to it.
Stop you there, because part 2 will come into that.
Yeah, I'd say maybe, it's like John said, depending on the game. If it's like a linear game, maybe a year. But if it's more like with the DLC stuff, I'd say 2 to 3 months, maybe, depending on how good it is. Yeah.
I think the mood has to come into it as well.
That's part 2.
Oh, nice.
So does the game put you in the mood to do that at all?
It depends. Like I said before, you might see a video that someone else has played of it, and they'll find something, or they'll unlock a region or whatever. Do you know what I mean? And that'll make you think, oh, shit, I really must go back to that game.
Yeah, it's also like what you guys sort of mentioned. So like Big Gal mentioned going back and recompleting a game, or just going back to grind, for example. But maybe just go back to like even older games where you didn't do that. It's just like, I want to do a few levels of this or something, regardless.
For nostalgia, just like, oh man.
It's like I'm pretty sure, like we were just saying earlier, you all know what my number 1 is going to be. and
we know what the top 5.
We know your top 10.
I don't think you do, but my number 1, I'm pretty sure you know what that one is. But then again, the reason I play that game that often is because I just love playing it.
Of course.
So for you don't need to be in the mood for it. You just
no.
It's like you got a hard on for the game. You just you're ready for it. Like the moment you go in, you got a hard on for it. I know. I'm serious. Mood is something I've never thought about. Only quite recently, because Ants used to say, I'm not in the mood for that. I don't know. And it's quite true, because
it is true. Important
coming off, like, if you're doing a really big game, and you come back and then you start another big game, and there's something in your head, you're like, oh man, maybe it might be the game. Sometimes you're just like, you know what? I'm not feeling this, man. I need a break from this type of game.
Absolutely.
Especially for me, when I come off an RPG, I can't go straight back on RPG. Yes. It's weird. It's just I will end up hating that game, or not. Like, I'll just play it for a couple hours and I know where this is going. It's good, but I ain't got the time for that. I need to probably go and no. This is like what I'm saying. I'm not in the mood for this because I've just come off this type of game. So I need to break it up. Maybe like a first person shooter or an indie game to break it up. But it's something. So true. I think it's more the adult side of me that has to think about now, whereas before, regardless, any games come out, I will get it, and then I'll complete, and I'll move on to the next, and it's something bombarded with making me games, and I'll just carry on. Whereas now it's just like, no, wait, I need to pick and choose. I need to be in the mood now. It's become more of a thing now, which I never thought about before.
Because it's like when you get the time to yourself, it doesn't really matter if it's a couple of hours or a whole day. It doesn't matter. you may not be in the mood for that particular game, but you might get into the mood to play a different kind of a game. But the fact is, you're still playing a game.
Yep.
And is it a new game or is it an old game? If we come up just like what we're on now, it more likely would probably be an old game. And you'll probably start it as a different character or just start all the way back to the beginning again.
But you're still gaming.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. Yeah. So true.
But so considering the amount of games we all play, do you like the fact that we can go back to certain games or even older games nowadays?
Yeah.
Basically, I'm trying to get at is like, do you like the fact that we can have that choice?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's like, you all know, get ready, I'm a PC gamer.
I had to find the button. I was like,
give him the chance.
You put me on the spot then.
There's like a 1 second delay.
And so like a lot of my games are on Steam, and I've got like probably about 130 games on Steam or whatever. And probably I would say of those 130, I've probably finished probably half of them. The other half are I'm a hell of a lot. I'm quite a way through them. But then of those games that I keep going back to that are in my list, probably about 10.
And
five of them came straight to me today. Well, boom, 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 done. But I actually changed 2 of them.
Yeah.
Because I've got more time in these other 2, which to be fair, I hadn't played in a while, so they didn't come to mind straight away. But that wasn't, so...
What about you guys? Do you like the fact that you can have that choice? It's kind of like... our streaming services now, isn't it?
Yes.
How we can just go back to old
And
TV shows and all that.
Yeah.
Do you like the fact that you can do that with video games now?
Gotcha.
Absolutely.
I think
it's certainly easier, isn't it? Like to do it.
Yeah, 100%. It's like, especially the games that you've missed. Like it's, I don't know. For me, I haven't played. I don't know. Is it the Nintendo one?
Yeah, they had
F-Zero.
like
Zelda.
You never played it?
No, I never played it. And it's literally just come out on the Nintendo service. That's great. Do you remember
the table tennis game I told you that Rockstar did? You never knew about.
God.
We got to go back and do that. That was good.
I think in that aspect is really good.
Yeah,
but I think like these guys like play off on nostalgia like really well. Like,
gotcha.
Like I appreciate remakes and like obviously like they're after they what they're doing. They clearly which is good. We appreciate it. It's
absolutely
wicked.
They're making you go back memory lane. And
but I think the amazing thing as well is the fact that nowadays there's like so many different platforms for these games. So like you say, if a game come out, so I don't know, let's say for argument's sake it came out on a 360, but you never got a chance to play it.
Yep.
It might be on the Switch tomorrow.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It's great.
So,
it's there,
so now you can get to play it, but on a different format.
One you can go back, let's just say, play it, and one for nostalgia, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I think it gives these game companies like a leeway for them to like, instead of focusing on a new game, they're like, oh, let's just remake this, or it's just like them giving them the chance. Like, I'm not being picky.
Update the graphics, remaster the game,
good.
Update the graphics, things like that.
Exactly. I kind of experienced that during lockdown. So before, now that Xbox Game Pass has got the beta streaming thing. So before PlayStation Now kind of started that about 2-3 years ago. So it was during actually no, when I had COVID, when I was playing Ratchet and Clank, but I wanted to kind of just experience other things, where I can sit down and play. And that was a perfect opportunity for me to get the 7-day trial for PlayStation Now, because every user gets that for free. And just to kind of put on a game and play it. And obviously a lot of those games on the list were nostalgic games that you played in the past, right?
Good.
So it's like, it made it easier to go back, and then sometimes hearing the menu from some of the games just takes you back.
Do you know the new PlayStation Now is going to have from PlayStation 1 video games in there?
You can include that as well.
Yeah, it's all going to go in there.
That was even just random, like, okay, and you know about the
Sign
wrestling
me
games.
up.
Absolutely.
Ridge Racer.
Yeah.
God, they were the days.
Oh mate, like the first ever PlayStation game I ever played, I said this on a previous one, was WWF Warzone. Right?
Yeah.
And even just the theme tune. It was
Warzone. Yeah.
So that was the first one, wasn't it? I kind of started.
Yeah,
Attitude
Attitude came out.
Yeah, and I remember like sometimes randomly this happens to me where I randomly have a theme tune in my head, and I was like, "Where's that from?" And it was like that rock intro from WWF Warzone. But I wish that they had that and you can play that, and it's kind of, you want to replay that again just for that little things like that and create a wrestler, and
sometimes
the
it's
whole
like
thing.
it's
Little things.
It's
right?
just that little jingle. takes you right back. You think, Absolutely. I've got to get that game out. Play that game again.
The jingle, the moments, just certain levels as well.
Here's the thing, though. Those things, like for me, sometimes become a backlog. Like, if you got a chance of playing the latest new game or a game that you've already played and it's in nostalgia factor, and you're like, do I want to? It's hard, isn't it?
It is.
Especially if it becomes another backlog.
Especially if it's a game you've been waiting for a long time.
Exactly.
Yeah. You think, ooh.
It's quite difficult, and I think it's. I feel bad. It's more of a nuisance because you're like, oh man, there's so many games.
I've done that. I've been waiting for a long time for a game to come out, and then eventually I've got the game, and I don't like watch too many videos and things about it because it's a bit like movies and stuff. I don't like being spoiled a little bit, so I'll get the game and I'll start playing it. But maybe a few hours in, I might not be in the mood for it, so I'll stop it.
Yeah, that goes back to Ant's question. And it just depends on your mood and what you're feeling like.
And I'll start it off and I'll get so many hours into it, maybe, or even only just an hour into it, and it's like.
But just having the option though is good.
Yes,
I mean,
sport for choice. Definitely.
The fact that when Xbox brought out, what's it, Bethesda. Yeah. And then you were around. We've done a movie night around mine, John, one night, and you come around, and then all of a sudden they announced that all the Quakes had gone on Game Pass, remastered. Good God, that was like, oh my God,
that took me right.
That took me back. But that's so good.
Those were the days.
Yeah. Do you download and play it though?
Yeah. Just straight away, because they're only small files, so they don't take that long.
Yeah, it's tiny. It's like 100 megabytes.
But so the final question again is sort of a part 2 to this. It's like, with the games that you do go back to, I imagine a majority of your list will be new-ish games or within at least the last 20 years or so. Would you ever have a feeling I want to go back? Like, nostalgia is a big thing, like you all just mentioned now. Would you go back even further to, like, SNES games, N64 games, PlayStation 1 games?
Oh, absolutely. For example, SNES, I remember when I had...
Or early PC for John, shall I say?
Yeah, actually... That reminds me, even
like Quake we mentioned just now.
Yeah.
Wolfenstein.
On floppy disk.
Doom. Yeah, all these games. Wow. Definitely, because when you're younger, you play it, and it didn't really interest you then. Maybe the genre or maybe the game was too difficult. But when you think back to it, like, I wish I could play that again and hammer that one game. Like, totally, because you know that's your game now, and you want to play it and stuff. 100%. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean...
examples, but
I kind of go back to it now because... my daughter's really into, like, Mario, for example. Like, Mario Odyssey, she's completed that game. She's nearly 100% it on the Switch. Wow. But she loves to go back to play the old Marios. I like to show how Mario originated. It's none of this 3D stuff. Like, this is go back to the 8-bit pixels and whatnot sort of thing. So we got it on the old arcade upstairs. And she loves it. And then, you've got Mario All-Stars, because that's on there as well. And I just love how...
next time.
But I just love how we can do that now. Like, I don't have to find... an old Nintendo machine to do it. I can just go on an arcade machine and use an eliminator now just to run it. Exactly. The fact that we've got that now is just, I think that's such a great...
It's good, It's good to have accessibility for it. Like you said, to come up and fork up money for a new NES, and it's probably a couple of £100 now or even more.
Yeah. So even the minis aren't exactly cheap, but still, the fact that we have that option now to do that, and show these, this generation how we games we grew up with.
Yeah, definitely.
This is what your daddy started with on this game and stuff.
But do you remember when Big Gal and John, we went to that arcade place in Croydon?
Oh God, yeah.
So that's another thing as well. Arcade classics. Would you go back and play those?
Well, as an arcade centre?
Yeah, like if you were like trying every day and you're like, I feel a bit of arcade nostalgia, let's do it.
I pass that thing every day because it's in central Croydon. And that's the amount of times I'm like, oh man, I just want to pop in. But,
Is it still there?
It's still there. It's moved. It's on the main strip now.
Okay.
But it's still there. You just, I don't know I don't know what machines are there, but I'm assuming it's the same.
We need to go back there, man.
I'm in the mood for some Wolfenstein 3D now.
Yeah?
Or first Doom.
Yep.
The original Doom.
I'm in the mood for Golden Axe for some reason because you brought back memory of
Golden Axe. Yeah. In fact, there's one on that arcade machine. I don't mean to keep pushing because I got it, but there's a Golden Axe game on there that never came out at all.
What?
No way.
But it was only in like an arcade in Japan, and it's like because the bad guy, the main bad guy was called Black Death or Blackadder or something. It's kind of like Black Cat's Revenge or whatever it is, and it's really good. It's like one of the best Golden Axes I've ever played in my life.
So
you need to give it a go, dude. Honestly,
that's
brilliant.
Incredible.
But that's kind of me out for questions. As if anyone wants to throw anything in, we'll go straight to the top fives.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Top fives. Let's do it.
It's time for a top 5. Number 5.
So, if you're with me on this, because John come up with this idea, I believe John should go first.
Absolutely, sir. Yes.
What do you reckon, guys? And then what way do you want to go around?
Go around. Sounds good. We can go that way.
Anti-clockwise.
Should we go
Anti-clockwise. Yeah. Right, okay. So, John, what's your number 5, sir?
My number 5 is a game called Deadside.
Okay.
Wow. PC?
Yeah, it's PC. It's the game that I was alluding to, shall we say, earlier about its early access.
Okay.
It was meant to come out 21. It's been delayed to 22 now. But again, they've added. It's one of these. It's a PvE, PvP, base building, shooting kind of a game. You don't have to do PvP. There are PvE zones, so you can go into certain areas and stay in those areas and not have to fight other players if you don't want to. But there's things like missions crop up, and there are easy ones or hard ones. There's military bases, which obviously are quite hard, because obviously if you want the good weapons, you've got to get in there. So the game kind of promotes teaming up. So you kind of like have to take the chance that the guy you're talking to isn't going to stab you in the back, and there's an element of that. I kind of got into it when it went probably about a year or so ago, when it was very first come out. The map wasn't very big, and there's things like helicopter crashes.
Helicopter,
and supply drops and stuff. And so, of course, when you're trying to get to one of those, there's obviously going to be other players around, so you're taking your chance. And then recently they've updated it again to the point where they've put new maps in it. They've put some more towns and villages in it, more guns, stuff like that. So they mean that the investment is there. They reckon when the game comes out, the map's going to be at least twice the size it is now, and it is quite big now. Yeah. I mean, to go from one side of the map to the other can take probably nearly at the best part, I suppose, half an hour or an hour.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow,
it's quite big.
Whew,
but there's a bigger game on my list. But yeah. But yeah, I mean, I've kind of got into it really. I mean, the PvP side of it, you have to be really careful, because there's obviously groups go in there, and they've obviously gone into the military places and got all the best stuff. So, but I've managed to get into one or two of the military bases by just sneaking around and getting in there. But they have NPCs in it, and the NPCs will shoot you as well.
Oh, they got that in as well.
Yeah. So NPCs so you have to sneak past them or take them out, if you know what I mean.
Nice.
But I mean, with all those kind of elements in the one game, that's what I kind of liked it.
Yeah, because it's rare to see
when they update it and bring more stuff out, I kind of end up going back to it again, because the game itself hasn't come out yet. There's no like end game yet.
So I
don't think there will be an end game.
The game's not out yet, and it's on your top 5.
Yeah,
surely that doesn't count. It's a game you go back to that's not out.
Yeah.
We'll let you off because it's your episode.
It is. That's the thing. It is sort of out.
It has to be out because you're playing it, obviously.
Well, yeah.
You know, it's just been
PC bootleg.
No, it's on Steam and that. It's been classed as early access for at least a year.
Yeah, it's probably because of COVID or something.
Probably, yeah. I mean, it was supposed to come out in 21.
It's like that Extensions game. It's still on preview. It's a preview game still.
Damn good game though.
Yeah, but this is. I mean, it's not a demo. It is It is the actual game. They're just when they actually release.
Just hasn't gone gold yet.
Well, yeah, exactly. But when they release it, the game will probably be twice the size it is now, and there'll be even more stuff, and it might even be vehicles in it that you can drive.
Oh my god!
So that's my top 5 or number 5.
That's your number 5.
Super cool.
Very good.
Very good choice. Yeah, go on, Ant.
Right, so if anyone remembers Season 1, Episode 15, it was a fighting game episode, wasn't it?
Oh.
Now, anyone that knows me loves my fighting games. I grew up playing fighting games, and unfortunately, I could not pick one of this franchise. So I'm just going to come out and say Mortal Kombat is my number 5.
Nice.
I go back to Mortal Kombat so much because I love fighting games. I don't want to... I play so many different games now compared to fighting games. There's always that time where I feel like I have to go back
It's like a guilty pleasure.
Exactly, yeah. And just punch the shit out of something or whatever. Whether it's the old one, whether it's the new one, whether it's the new ones that's out at the moment because of new DLC and stuff, I just can't help myself to think, you know what, the fighter in me still hasn't gone. And no one's beaten me at Street Fighter yet, so challenge me.
Wow.
Even though there's a different franchise, but anyone can beat me on Mortal Kombat. But yeah, it's a super short entry, but I can't deny how I grew up with all fighting games. I mean, I think that's all I used to play at one point was just fighting games.
Yeah,
I got so addicted to them.
Yeah.
But now that I've discovered RPGs and, you know, point and clicks and, you know, all this first person shooter stuff and whatnot, I kind of go back to it so that I have not, you know, the fighting gamer in me hasn't gone.
Yeah.
It's not going to go because there are other fighting games I would love to play nowadays, but there's just no one to play with now is the issue.
Yeah, exactly.
I know you can play online and stuff, but it's not the same as having someone next to you and doing a proper two-player game, you know, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, there's not an awful lot I can say about my number 5 is Mortal Kombat. I love to go back to play Mortal Kombat.
I say it's one of the things that kind of brought you back. Also, the finish him at the end.
Yeah,
is that another thing where you play it and then sometimes you forget about that bit at the end because you're too busy trying to beat the opponent. When you do, it's like, oh shit, now I can actually do that. Because that would bring me back.
It's like what Gal said about the whole DLC thing. It's like how they keep bringing more characters into it, and then they're like characters you thought would never be in a Mortal Kombat game, like RoboCop, Rambo, Aliens, Predator, Jason, Leatherface. Sorry, just
Ninja Turtles? Was that?
No, that's Injustice. But it's just like, good God, it's like
it is good.
It is good, man, and I love to go back and forth. I mean, I play the newer ones just for the campaign side. I don't do the online stuff because again, I'd rather play with people, you know.
Yeah.
And do you remember when number 11 came out? We had a big Mortal Kombat party here, didn't we? At one point, and we had a few people. They had a little tournament
to get
stuff.
Back on that,
yeah,
that's so cool.
Yeah, so that's my number 5, quick and easy.
Yeah.
Nice.
What's yours, sir?
Yeah, so I had quite a hard time on the 5 because there's a game that I've mentioned in a previous episode and one that I haven't. So I was like, so I've gone with the one that I haven't mentioned. And it's a PC game.
No, what? Oh my God!
Originally started.
Oh my God! I think my pacemaker's going to go.
John's on the other end going.
What did he say?
Get the GTN spray.
The bastard son I never had.
I want to hear it.
John nearly fell out.
What is it? Go on. What is this PC game, sir?
G plays PC games.
Admires Civilization.
He did on his Hewlett Packard.
Admires Civilization.
Oh yeah, the brown one.
No, good choice.
Yeah, I remember those. Yeah.
It's 5, I think, the last one.
Yeah,
5.
Civilization 5.
Incredible.
5 or 6.
Oh my God, it's such a
what a game.
For anyone who doesn't know, it's like Agent Empire. What is sort of game is that then? It's strategy.
Real-time strategy.
Real-time strategy, and it's basically. I love Age of Empires. We used to play it like 4-player on the PC. It was so good.
Yeah,
and then obviously it kind of faded out, and then Civilization came out. I think 4 came out a couple of years. I can't remember the dates, but the recent one that I'm playing is 5. And originally played it on the PC.
Yeah.
And I was playing it with my brothers and his mates, and it was so good, man. It goes into, like, I think I've never done it, but you can actually go into space time. So obviously, it's throughout the ages. So you start at the barbarian level, and then you go through the ages as your city develops.
Stone Age,
Stone Age, and all that. And then I've never done it because it gets quite hard.
And,
and it's just a tough motherfucker.
Absolutely,
it is. And
it's an achievement in itself to get to the space race. So
I can never. I don't think I could go past. Is it? I don't even know. Golden Age.
Alpha Centauri.
I've done it. The barbarians keep killing me, man. I hate the and then I find out you can actually turn it. Okay, there's NPCs out there. So you as you discover the map, you find out where the other players are. So I could be, I don't know, Japan. John will be Russia, Goku will be, I don't want to say maybe British or something like that. Yeah. And then you kind of, you can work together, or you can
form alliances.
It's about,
for now.
Yeah, and as you form more cities, it's quite cool because his city be London, and the next city he makes will be Birmingham or Manchester.
Yeah.
And how
the trade routes come in.
Trade routes. It's so
detailed.
Yeah.
So
there's so much to it.
Yeah, I've been playing it. It's one of those games I go back, and obviously I have a PC, but then eventually came out on the Switch as well, so I got it running on the Switch sometimes. It's not as hard. It's quite hard on the Switch because There's a little button configuration, but yeah, it's one game that I have an itch for sometimes. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to bang it.
Was this the game that sort of paved the way for those other sort of games? Because you play like Age of Empires and stuff, didn't you?
I would say Age of Empires was...
That was Sid Meier's game. When it's
Age of Empires was first start. For me, I don't know the actual history.
Yeah, but did you play Civilization first?
No.
I
played Age of Empires.
Oh, right, okay, sorry. I thought that...
It's very similar to...
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
Age of Empires was more like easier.
Yeah, it was definitely
I found it more easy. You can go through the ages and it had campaign. I think Civilization doesn't have campaign mode.
No, you just play it as... It doesn't have a campaign.
Yeah, you just play
it as a standard thing.
Yeah,
but you can tweak the
landscape
right?
and stuff.
Yeah, all of that, yeah.
But I'm not doing justice. There's so much. If you actually sit down in time to play it, there's so much in that game.
Absolutely.
So much strategy. So many like things you can do. So like each like nation has their own sort of like... Oh man, because I haven't even explored that much. That's the thing. There's so many things you can build.
When you started off, I don't know. I haven't played the latest one of it, but you used to be able to kind of like you had a choice of, we'll say, the biome that you were inhabiting. Yeah. So you could, and you could choose the one that was just all land, or you could choose one that was all islands or whatever.
Yeah.
I used to always go random because it's like. Then you don't know what's next.
Yeah,
you don't know where anyone could be.
It makes it more exciting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know people that played it, and they used to play it on
great if we
all
could
the islands.
Log on now, and all of us will play it. It's
so
such a good multiplayer.
I haven't thought about that game in a long time. So I'm glad you mentioned that.
That's such a good choice.
But you can sit there and play it for hours, like
absolutely.
Literally. But on the PC, you just kind of go around on the controller.
And it's good that you can relive that on the Switch, though.
Yeah. That's the thing. So, that's why I was like,
so you don't have to carry your Hewlett-Packard around.
But then that comes back to what I was saying earlier about a game that you used to play on one format. Now you can play it on something else.
On the go, yeah.
Exactly.
It's brilliant. It's
we're spoiled for choice now as gamers, aren't we, really?
Yeah.
But again, it becomes, like I said earlier, just you already got a lot of games, and then they bring out all these like other old games that you used to play, and you're like, oh man, what do I do? Like,
I mean, there's strategy in Age of Empires, but I always saw Age of Empires as, we'll say, like the younger brother to Civilization.
See, I always came off Age of Empires,
it can be funnier.
Yeah.
Whereas Civilization is
more
serious.
See, it's like you mentioned the sound as well. Do you remember the sound?
Yeah.
That's your going to.
Every time I talk about Age of Empires, I can hear that.
Yeah, it's like a clarion call. It's brilliant. I'll tell you what. So, is RTS your type of game? Because it's not mine, right? And it's funny, you said again, it's so good you mentioned that, a replayability, because it brings you back. And I remember my brother randomly bought it for me for Christmas. And the day after Boxing Day, he was like, listen, sit down and play this game with me. And we literally killed it for 5 hours. And I was like, no, Boxing Day's a day. I just want to sit and watch all the movies and stuff. But it's so addictive.
Once you start,
you can't stop. Literally, it's so addictive. And I just thought, oh my God, I had to pull myself out. You know?
About
it makes you want to play it again and again.
Your town just growing and fighting.
But I do like games that do that, man. There's the games where you play at home. Yeah. And like me and Gal, obviously, we have really long, shitty shifts.
Absolutely.
And there are times when I get so bored, I feel like I want to go back and play a game, or what I can do next on that game, going back and going.
That one,
that's the power of those games.
If you play that game, it's different every single time.
Yes.
100%. If we were playing it now, we'll have a blast.
Especially, like I said, if you picked random, because then you don't know if you're on an island or a great big huge landmass.
Exactly.
And it's like, do you go left or do you go right or do you go north or south or what? You know, when you're sending your scouts out, you know,
exactly.
It's and you could send a scout north and you might not see anybody for flipping ages, or you could send him south and you'll bump into someone straight away.
And then it becomes a bit stressful as well, because if John's gone into this edge and you're still like,
that used to annoy me.
Yeah, like, oh shit!
Because he's like, how's she got that far that quick? I'm still in the Stone Age, for Christ's sake. Oh man!
And you got these like little shitty scouts coming into your area, and you're like, fuck this guy, I'm gonna kill him. And then you run into the barbarians, and they just come all angry, and you're like, oh my God, this game is so frustrating and good at the same time.
But good at the same time.
It's so good.
Gotcha.
Trust me, it's really good.
Nice, man. That's a good pick.
Good pick.
Anything else on that at all?
No, that's it, man.
Huh? All right, so we got Gokul then.
Right, my number 5 is this game. You'd never think of it as a game as replayability, but it just happened to be for me. It's Uncharted 4. I kid you not.
Okay.
And the reason why...
The one that's half the game in prison.
Yeah.
It's not,
There's
dude.
so much. I can see why you said it. Oh my god.
No, I
yeah.
said it's pissing him off. Don't worry.
Yeah. See, I want to play that. I haven't played it yet.
That
Have you
is
not?
so, it's
Oh,
on
my
PC.
God. It's such a
I
good.
know
I think it's on
it is,
PC.
yeah,
Yeah. It's incredible. I mean, okay, the first when it came out, and it came out on the PS4, and it's like everyone had waited, as Uncharted fans had waited for this game, and it finally came out, and you know, it was great. Like, I loved it, and the graphics and everything, and me being the one for like photo mode or whatever, it just looked amazing. I'm playing it on the PS4 Pro. It was just great. And then I finished the story and I was like, I loved it, especially at the end. Like, I don't want to spoil it, but it has that kind of, you know, that kind of familyness to it, you know, and it's got such a strong moral throughout the whole thing. It's like watching a movie. It's incredible. Yeah. And then played it one more time
And
again.
it has a nostalgia in the game as well.
It has nostalgia Easter egg. Oh my god! And that was incredible.
Don't
It's
say,
the whole
don't
game.
say.
I'm not gonna say it's the whole game.
It is the whole game. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fuck
I played it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you really are good at that bit, you play the whole game. Yeah, it's incredible. They
as in that level.
Yeah, that level. Yeah.
I thought you meant the whole game.
Oh no. Yeah, that level. Yeah, that's basically it. But yeah, John, when you play, you're bullshit.
That's the
on my
beginning
list
as well,
to get,
isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's in my wish list on Steam already. So.
Definitely.
You got to
Because
play
you
it.
played
dude.
it. Oh, it's incredible.
It's full on just linear story mode.
That's all it is.
It's a
so much fun.
male Tomb Raider, isn't it? Basically.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot too.
It's better than
It's a PS4 Indiana Jones ripoff.
Yeah.
fuck Indiana Jones.
But no. But I do Uncharted 2. Give me that any day. Uncharted 2 is one of my favourites out of that whole series. 4 is good.
But you haven't played 4 though.
I have played 4.
Oh, have you? Oh.
Yeah, asked Little Gal because he recommended it to me years ago.
Oh yeah.
How would I know about it being in prison and shit? How would I know about the so-called Bandicoot at the beginning?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
See, that's
okay.
really good. Yeah, and then I think recently it got remade. 2 months ago, it came out as a remake for the PS5.
Yeah.
And it's one of the most spectacular looking games on the PS5. Like, they literally remade it, and it just looks. It's the most cleanest game I've ever played. And it's not even an exclusive for the PS5. You know, they've redone it. The sound is amazing. And just playing the whole story again. I think the first time I played it, I was just distracted. Like, I wanted to finish it, but I didn't focus on the game. Second time, I played it again for basically when you complete the game, you get like little things that you can unlock at the end. So like unlimited ammo and like moon gravity. So I played it with that and it was a lot of fun. This time I played it as a core gamer, trying to understand the story. And it was soon after when we watched the movie.
The pirate stuff.
It's about brotherhood.
Yeah, exactly.
Pirates.
Pirates.
But I haven't played the other one after the lady one.
Legacy. Well, that's quite
Legacy.
That was
Lost
quite good.
Legacy.
No, it's called the Legacy Edition, but what's it called?
Lost Legacy.
Lost
Legacy.
Legacy. Yeah. That's pretty awesome as well. Really awesome. But yeah, just playing it, again, like I never thought I'd replay this again on the PS5. It just brought back not just memories, but just the story of it. You appreciate the story more. It's like so deep, like really deep as well.
I mean, to play 4, do you need to have played the other 3?
Do you know what? You don't.
Or is it like a
have
standalone story
No,
on its
that's
own?
the thing. You don't have to, because there's bits when you can you're in a certain person's house and you see those nostalgic
they're like
moments.
little flashbacks and things like that.
Exactly.
Oh,
It was
But
got
I'd recommend you
and it's
playing
like-
them as well. There are some really good. Like Ant said, number 2 is amazing.
Fucking
All
awesome.
of them. All of them are good.
Okay, I might
Just remember how number 2 started with the train.
The train. One of the best opening scenes to a video game ever.
Their level design
Ever.
is unparable, man. I think I said it in the previous episode. You can literally see like the map. You see the smoke in the area, and by the end of this level, you're going to get to that. How they do it, I don't know, and how they achieve it.
They do the same thing with Last of Us.
Yeah.
When you're in Philadelphia in the bridge,
And you know you're going to get there.
Yeah, you know you're going to get
Amazing.
there.
I love that.
And you know what's ahead of you.
Naughty Dog signature, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. That's how you know.
One thing about the story, I love the backstory. I think it's the same in the
Lost Legacy.
No, sorry, Last of Us as well.
Yeah,
I think Anne
yeah.
mentioned it. This one does a really good job of the pirate jobs, the pirate backstory.
Love
It's
that.
fucking sick.
It's in detail and it's true.
And
it's
like
in a
all those
sense, like-
pirates, and you're like, shit, are these guys actually real? And you do your own research as
Yeah,
well. Like,
you
oh
look
my
into
god, that's
it.
how like I recently played like 2 months ago when I think was it 2 months or a month ago when we did the upgrade, and I was just like fascinated about all these pirates.
It's amazing.
And I got addicted to drum as well. Yeah, but yeah,
had to be done.
it's a good shout.
Fantastic. Yeah, so that's my number 5.
Nice.
Uncharted
Nothing
4.
okay?
Yeah.
So we'll go to number 4. Is John, you ready for number 4?
Number 4.
What is it, John?
My number 4 is a game called Grim Dawn.
Oh, yeah, I know that one.
Do you really?
I ain't got a clue what it is.
Was it on the list that you thought I'd have? No, you see.
You did this fantasy. I know 1, 2 is going to be in there. There's definitely 2.
You know number 1.
That's the one there, and then you shoot from here. Yeah.
looking at him dumbfounded.
His face is like, what? Shooting?
Crimson what?
I was going to say.
Hey?
Crimson Dawn. What was it again?
Grim Dawn.
Grim Dawn, okay.
Yeah.
So tell the people, what's Grim Dawn?
Well, Grim Dawn...
On what console?
PC. Grim Dawn is an action RPG game. It's not top down, but you're kind of looking down on your figure, you know.
Diablo-esque.
Yeah, to a degree, yeah.
So he replaced it with Diablo. That's what he's done.
No, Diablo's number 1.
And you're basically you get a choice of character. Again, like I was saying, you know, you play it as one, and then I would replay it as a different character eventually. That's what I've done. And you're in a land called Cairn, and the idea is a lot of the people are dead. There's been like this big war between like these two outer worldly, not aliens, but they're not from your world, shall we say? And some of them, and although they're both in a sense your enemy, one of them are like a good enemy, if you know what I mean, and one of them are like a bad enemy. So, and it's basically you just go around looting, picking up. Well, yeah. You don't have to shoot. Sometimes it's a sword or a great big battle axe or whatever. And it's basically, it's not a looter shooter. Well, I suppose it is in a sense. But it's got a story. You've got to go through the land and you follow the story around. But it's not linear in the sense that you have to go from A to B. You know, you can go off. There is a trail, and you can follow the trail, but you can go off the trail and find like huts with stuff in them. Maybe you might find a weapon in that hut, but had you followed the track, you would never have found it. Things like that. Yeah. There's tunnels you can go into. You can go down, follow through these tunnels, and come out in a different part of the map. And if you had just followed the trail, it would have taken you ages just to get to that part. So being able to go through the tunnel, I've found all sorts of stuff in it. I mean, I've got a couple of characters on that, and it's a game, like I said, I've gone back to it a few times.
But why have you gone back to it?
Because I just like playing it. I like
It's a good answer.
That's a good answer.
It's not one of those games you've got to think about too much.
It's a top-down RPG.
Sort of. A bit like Diablo. You know?
How old is it?
It's not that old. 5 or 6 years old.
Okay.
And like you get to choose the build and the armor sets and all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do like those kind of games.
Yeah.
Like you remember Baldur's Gate?
Oh my god.
Have you played Baldur's Gate?
That's old school.
Yeah,
I've always wanted to play
I never got into Baldur's Gate.
No, it's really
the
good.
third one looks badass.
Yeah.
The new one.
But again, it's over the top stuff, isn't it? So
you don't do that.
okay.
You got to have that
Patience.
sort of not patient. You got to be into those. It's basically Dungeons and Dragon type of game, really.
Yeah.
It's awesome, man. I've played it ages ago, but
again, it's like what you mentioned earlier on. It's the mood. I've got to be in the mood to give that a try.
100%.
Definitely.
Anything else on Grimbone? Dawn?
Grim
Grimcon.
Grimcon?
There's NPCs in it that you can talk to, and they'll give you like a mission, or they'll ask you to find something or someone or whatever.
Like a typical.
Yeah.
But it's the replayability. I think you like stuff that you can go back and play as a different character.
Yes. Yeah,
What
the map itself hasn't been from the few playthroughs that I've done of it. The map itself hasn't changed, and once you've played it once, you kind of know where a lot of the NPCs are. Especially if, like me, if you go off track.
Does the map randomly generate? Like
no.
Okay.
But what happens is when they update the game and they patch it and whatever, there might be different weapons. So you might find a different weapon on your way around. If you play like a shooter build, which is one of my characters,
so
then you're looking for rifles and stuff. Another character, he uses like a sword or an axe or something like that, you know, like a melee build. So you can have a long range build, you can have a melee build, this kind of thing. And then there's creatures in there, and you have to fight the creatures as well. But I like finding, like, it took me a while to find. I found certain little things. You get to them, and you need to have found a key to get in there. So now you're not only playing the game, you're trying to find this bloody key.
Bloody key, Michael Caine.
Yeah. and on one of my characters, I played through to a part where I never found the key, and I got so far into the game that it really bugged me. I thought, I really wanted to get in that bloody place.
Yeah.
So I started another character. I went back.
I did it
and I
again.
eventually found the key. And then I got in there, and there was like chests, and you opened up the chests, and there was like weapons and stuff in there. But some of them they weren't any good for my character.
Oh, jeez.
And I thought, damn it. But
Gotta
yeah,
do it
but you
again.
know what I mean? But it's one of those games, like you said, like we've already said. I've got no qualms in picking it up and play it for an hour or two, maybe 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Good choice.
Good choice, yeah. My number 4 was a bit of a tough one because I originally put Dark Souls down for number
Dark
4,
Souls.
but then I changed it very last minute. Dark Souls is one of those ones I love because I'm really getting into Soulsborne games at the moment, and Dark Souls I constantly go back to after I played a Soulsborne game.
Yeah.
Not only that, I own it on 3 different consoles as well. And I probably will own it on a 4th one once I finally get my Steam Deck. But anyway, I decided to go with Alien Isolation instead.
Wow.
Again, I own it on 3 different consoles. But the reason I love this game so much is just the situation it puts me in. And even though I know what's going to happen, I know what to do, I still get that dread, that feel of dread, fear, terror on this simple little game of an alien trying to hunt me through a space station. And it gets me every single time, man. Even though I know what to do, or even put it on harder mode or whatever, I just love what it does to me every time. I wish I still had my Kinect on my Xbox One. Yeah, because they're playing that with the Kinect is like the best thing ever. I think it's better than VR.
Can you not get a Kinect?
You probably can, but it's going and hunting for it at the end of the day, isn't it? Yeah. And plugging it, because I don't have an Xbox One anymore either.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Sorry, the bit of the Kinect, you have to be silent, don't you?
Yeah, it's the same.
To be
it's like it put you in that ship with them.
That's insane.
You could not breathe heavily, you could not sneeze, you could not do anything. And the fact that it follows your movements, if you tilt your head over, because there's a button on your controller where you can tilt over objects. But if you simply just turn your head to the side, it would tilt for you as well. It was one of the best game experiences I've ever had. It's a shame I can't do now, but I've got it for my Switch. I've got it for my Xbox One X at the moment. I had it for my 360. Even on the Switch, you can move. Yeah, it has
it's one of the
like an
best
accelerator
ports.
Yeah, oh my god, the port on that Switch version is so good. Seriously, good. And it's just a game I love and adore. I think it's in my top 10 of all time.
You like the films anyway.
I love the films as well. I do love Dark Souls as well. Dark Souls, again, I was so close to keeping in there because even though I go back to these games, there's always something else I find that I never knew first time. And that's what you guys were mentioning about earlier on, where you go back to get that piece of equipment, whatnot, and it's like, I never knew that. I'm saying, why didn't I do that in the first place? Or bosses. There are bosses I still come up and find that I never even knew existed in that game. And I played that shit ton of times.
That's why I go back and play a different character.
Yeah.
And I might not follow the same corridor that the first character followed and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
This is how you find these things.
But then we were going back to why'd you go back to do this stuff? And it's like the story as well as
it's so true to the films. That's what keeps me. So like when I remember when you told me about, I was anticipating this game, but then the reviews came out and it was just like, oh man, I'm not gonna bother. But Ant was like, dude, it's so good. Like you need to go play it. Like because obviously he found after we met, he was like, I found out how good I loved Aliens, and he was like, you need to play this game now. And god damn, it is so good. It's an absolute like scary fucking game. There's a point I think I can't remember what season. There's you think there's a place where you're going the air ducts and you think you're safe there. God damn, like when he came through that, I shat myself. Seriously, literally when you go in the air duct, he's not going to come in there. Yeah. And then I was doing it for a while, and I think maybe 3/4 into the game, there's a point where you have to go around him, and you're like, okay, I'm sitting in the air ducts thinking he's going now, because obviously you got to listen out for him, because it's dunk dunk. That means he's come land.
He's through an air shaft or something. Yeah.
And the fear factor in that game just is nuts. Like
I can imagine.
Like, it's meant to be because you got the scanner, the beep beep. It's like, and there's one point it's just all over the place. You're like, shit, there's no point even using it.
He could be anywhere.
Yeah, but it's so many mechanics in that game. Like he's programmed as an actual hunter. Like the AI on that,
AI in that is super clever.
It's so good. Like he can smell you. He will know. He will predict your movement. Oh,
he can learn if you keep using noisemakers.
Yeah.
He'll learn that you keep doing it. He'll ignore it the third or fourth time.
Yeah.
It's clearly that's how he found out I was in the air ducts, because he knew that I was going around. It was just mental with that one night.
Bloody hell! Okay.
Such a good game.
Yeah. And a simple game that was made in Horsham as well.
Right,
it's just
down
like
the road from us.
I keep going. Like I said, I keep going. Even though I know what to do, it still puts you in that fear factor. Beep, beep, beep. I was like, I know he's going to come around that corner in a minute, but I'm still scared shitless. Why does it do it to me? And again, that's why I love games that can give me that sense of feeling, and that's probably why I go back to it again and again, or probably buy it on another console and yet another console until they finally do number 2, for fuck's sake. Short and sweet, that's my number 4. Can't really say anything else about it. Thank you for helping me out with that one as well. But
I love that game.
Great.
Big Gal, what's your number 4?
My one is a fighting game.
Nice.
And I was scared that you were gonna
represent.
There we go.
All right.
It's Tekken Tag 2.
Yeah.
Good choice. Nice.
I was into my.
Did you shoot yourself when I said fighting game?
Yeah, I was gonna say it. But this one is quite dear to me. Like I was gonna do Tekken Tag 1, the original one, but then I
on
thought
PS2.
but Tekken Tag 2 was really good as
well.
Like, it's got all
I prefer to.
Yeah.
The whole roster.
And purely like if you have games night, that's definitely coming on.
Oh, we did every time,
every single time, and it's like, all right, I'll fight you for it. Like, whatever. Like,
I'll fight you for your screening time.
Yeah, exactly. I'll fight you for that wing. It was literally stuff like that, and I love the fact
for the last chicken wing.
Like, it'll be like a decider. Like, what are we having? I'll fight you for this. Or it was literally nuts. And every game's night, Tekken's going down.
It's going to happen.
It'll be go to a point where like certain people of our group started training. Like, secretly to like beat certain people,
learning moves.
Yeah, but it's. I mean, I think we've talked about it in one. I think it was in my top 5. I can't remember.
Yeah, the fighting game episode.
Yeah,
season 1, episode 15. If you're interested.
Wow, that's a good memory. It's got all the characters.
It's all in the database.
Damn, man, I wish I had your memory.
It's really good.
It's got all the characters. The roster, one of the best rosters, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling the new Tekkens. I don't know. I think I generally am falling out of love with the fighting game genre for some reason. I don't know. Maybe like I said, mood or whatever.
Or the lack of people to play with.
Yeah.
Now,
I think
so
that's
I'm
what
telling
it
you
is.
now, because
I think that's what it is.
If we got together and started playing fighting games, I swear you'd get back into it, and then you'd be like, right. Dip out Marvel vs. Capcom or something.
No, you're right.
You would.
Yeah. I think we're back in the day where everyone was free and you were able to like meet up just like that with a flick of like I can make a phone
your
call.
sleepovers with your mates and
exactly.
whatnot.
I think that's
fuck shit up.
And I used to look, and it's a shame because I used to look forward to fighting games, the new ones. I used to get so hyped,
right?
Up, big time, especially Tekken, the Street Fights. I used to be like, yes,
Soul Calibers as well.
Oh my god, this is gonna be a wicked weekend or something like that. But obviously, I think the time and everyone's busy, so it's gone. But the love is still there. Like if we have a game night, I guarantee you, Mortal Kombat, like Ant said, or Tekken Tag for me is coming out.
Absolutely. Yeah, like you said, it has a banging roster. That game, super good. Yeah, but no, I love Tekken, but again, I think after 4, it kind of just died down for me. 5 and 6, I was never a fan of.
Yeah, it just lost its.
7's okay, but they brought in that new system now, isn't it? It's just it doesn't feel.
It becomes sort of like now, like so you start with 8 characters. The rest you can. Okay, I think I mentioned it before as well. So what I loved about it is you have all the rosters, and in the game you can unlock them. You can go through every character and start unlocking them. Yeah, and that really got to me as well. I love that aspect. Now it's more like here's 8 players. The rest you might unlock 2 or 3.
And then you have to buy the rest.
3 months later, we're releasing this cunt and that cunt.
I like
that ruins it.
Excuse the language.
Absolutely.
But it's true though, right?
It's true,
Why? Why? Give me the whole game. Why am I... Why are you trying to...
exactly.
Yeah.
Fuck you, I'm not buying your game now. No, it's true. It's annoying me so much.
It's all about the money now, isn't it?
Exactly.
Unless it's like worth it. Like,
but in all fairness, let me stop you there for a sec. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But it kind of... So... Let's go to Street Fighter, for example. There's like 50 different versions of Street Fighter 2. So maybe it's to stop that being re-released and re-released and re-released, if that makes any sense. Like Super Street Fighter was the same roster with 4 extra characters. If you could back in the day just buy them, that stops that release coming out, doesn't it? Do you see what I'm saying?
Well, so that same game came out on different consoles.
Yeah. And then you had Super Street Fighter Turbo, which was Street Fighter 2 faster. That's all it was.
Oh, it was the same game.
But it was another release. I see where you're coming from, but I think it kind of stops people re-releasing, and re-releasing. But it is a manufacturer as well. Like
depends on how much they're charging.
The game, the term fighting genre as well is still like, it's like what you said. They can't actually do, like, apart from doing new characters, it's going to be the same roster each time.
Yeah.
So it's essentially, but what we loved about is the next generation one. So from Tekken 1, from PS1 days to...
Yeah, simply just Tekken 1, Tekken 2,
and then Tekken 2, Tekken Tag blew my fucking balls off.
It's my line!
But it's true though, like, and then the third one, and then I kind of faded, fighting game kind of faded out. But I still remember that day when I used to have tuition for maths, and my teacher literally bought his brand new PS2 and he had Tekken Tag. I think he got the pack, and we were like, I'm gonna finish this lesson and then we're gonna sit. We played for like 4 or 5 hours.
Nice.
He was so bloody good, man. I'd never beat him, but it was. And I was like, the next week I got it as well, and I was like, oh, this is so good. Incredible. But you know what I'm saying? Those were the catches for their fighting games. But I think now it's at a peak where, like, they're running out of hours, so they're trying to squeeze as much money out of you, which I don't blame them, I guess. But
totally.
But it depends on how they do it.
It kind of keeps that game alive as well at the end of the day. Because again, like I mentioned with the Mortal Kombat characters, you go back to it to play the new character. So it's another reason to go back, isn't it?
You're right.
Which is the point of this episode, right?
Exactly.
But that's a good shout.
Yeah, I'm so glad you didn't ruin mine. I was like...
Well, no, if we had a top 10 Tekken Tag tournament, we would have gone on that. So, but that's a good shout. Nice
I think for me, Tekken Tag 2 is what your Mortal Kombat is, I think.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's a good choice, man. Brings a lot of memories even just talking about it.
Tekken Tag or Tekken as a franchise?
Tekken?
I'd say Tekken as a franchise is your Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. But this is the one that I will go back to. So, yeah, Tekken.
Specifically,
Yeah, right, yeah. Agreed.
Nice, number 4, sir.
Good. Right.
Go cool.
Right, my number 4. This is it's an interesting one, but there's a reason for this. And, and it kind of, the guys did it in a sense to bring characters back, but they didn't realize they were doing it. To bring the players back, but didn't realize it was happening. So this might shock you, John. You might understand if I say this. So it's Fallout 76.
Oh, right? God, yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I love Fallout.
Why? So this game I got with when I got my Xbox One X, right?
Yeah, because it came with it, didn't it?
It came with it, and I had this like the special edition white Xbox, and it was like the Fallout edition, and it came preloaded with the game. So I was like, and at that point, like I think it was 2 months into the cycle of the disaster that happened with Bethesda when the game came out and it was just crashing. God, it just was a fuck up, and loads of like fans had waited a long time.
They did a comeback though, but
the thing is, I got
it still comes back now and then, doesn't it?
Yeah, I didn't experience half the bugs that a lot of people did.
Right, exactly. You had to be really lucky, didn't you, to kind of experience the bug. I thought it was fine, but at that point they fixed up the main bugs, and it was just little things here and there. So I remember playing it. That was on Christmas, so that like Christmas holiday, I'd be playing that and doing the missions and stuff. And it's so vast, and the side missions and everything. You really feel like you're journeying through. But then again, it was such a depressing game. And going back to mood, right? There was times when I played it and I just felt so almost like, this game is so moody. I just want to turn it off and play something happy and watch something happy and stuff, but that was kind of like the feel of it. So I was like, okay.
But was that before they added the NPCs?
That was before, that was before the NPCs came in. See, that's another issue. That's another interesting point, John, because then it was all. So for people who don't know, compared to the other Fallout games, it was all online, right?
Yeah, because there was no the biggest. I think one of the biggest gripes was that there was no NPCs to talk to.
That's right.
Which is what you had with all the other.
Which is what Fallout essentially is.
Essentially is
because you that's how you find your way around. You find things and you talk to them and you do a mission for them or find someone, a bit like one of the games I just spoke to. But there was none of that with Fallout 76.
That's right. It was none of that. And in a sense, you felt lonely as a character as well. Like when you see someone online, you're like, oh, someone, let me go chase him.
Yeah, because I love the idea of it. When they were talking about it, I loved the idea of it. I thought, this is brilliant.
A genius idea, right? On paper, right?
We've not done this before because like with Fallout 1, 2, 3, and 4, it was like just this massive wasteland. Now all of a sudden we're waking up earlier, and the land isn't as bad. But it's like you say, but there was no one to talk to.
There was no one to talk to. It felt lonely. Yeah. And you're doing these missions, and it was kind of text based. It was like you're following the breadcrumbs. That was every mission was like a breadcrumb mission. You're leading to this, and that leads to that, and then finally you get a reveal, and it's not a real person or whatever, and it's the remains of their body. There was nothing that was like
find
like
a ledger on them or something.
Exactly. It was never like something that's physically there that you can talk to and see. It kind of felt like made up and stuff. But as time went on, and Bethesda, who are like so rock at this, and they delivered it to their fans. They
did listen.
They listened. They were going to fix this up, and then it got better, and it got to a point where fans were like, now we have a complete
now we've
game.
Got the game. Yeah.
Exactly. And they started releasing their DLCs, and then they did the one best thing, as John mentioned earlier, they brought NPCs back, and that got me back into it.
So I want to go back to it.
Definitely. And that was a year after I first got it and stuff, and it was like the game is just remapped. It's just incredible now. They got like real life. It had like it felt like all of a sudden the game was blossoming in a weird way. It's like a wasteland, but it felt like there was a lot happening now.
Yeah, you mentioned it in previous episodes that you've gone back to it as well. So I'm glad it's gone in the list. To be honest,
had to be on the list. Yeah, for sure. So that was it's definitely a game that replay. And to be honest, like I haven't played it in over a year now, but I'd want to reinstall
it. I haven't played. I mean, last time I played it was before they introduced the NPCs.
Exactly.
So and I hadn't really thought of it because I was now you've mentioned. I'm thinking, actually, do you know what? I want to update that
and just go back onto it. And it's so cool. The things it is really like done, and the missions are done really like it makes you explore a bit more around the Appalachia kind of place as well. So it's really cool. But then see, this is the thing about it, I bet you the developers never expected there to be so much replayability. Because of the fact that they were like, okay, these fans they need to play it again because we're updating the game. We want you to actually all the
keep
DLCs
coming back.
Keep coming back. So they accidentally did that, and for me, I accidentally went back into the game because I just wanted to. There's no intention.
Yeah, because it's all free DLC at the end of the day. I mean, I'd fucking come back to it for free DLC.
Exactly. You don't pay for nothing.
No.
It's not
but then they kind of fucked up, so they had to give it out.
Screwed up. Yeah, exactly. And in a sense, I'm happy they did. Actually, I'm glad that they actually didn't have a solid release. And then
it goes to show that they can recover and come back.
Absolutely.
But, but it's why I don't understand the thought process behind it. Like. Yeah. Why release it? Because that's it's like what you said. It's the heart of the NPCs were the heart, like the characters you meet, like Dog Meat and what's that investigating the Fallout 4?
Nick Valentine.
Some of the amazing characters, and that's when I felt like betrayed. I was like, this is.
I think they wanted.
I played an hour of
it. And exactly the thing, mate. No one just saw the online part. All they saw was Fallout, and that's why everyone went for it.
Exactly.
And it was such a shame because they was hyped up to the bone, big time.
I still haven't gone back to it. I probably won't.
I will. I think they wanted to do something different, so there's nothing against them for that.
Sure,
but it's like. They've had 4 games already. I think my view is, they went the option of let's give them something different, and I think they should have just stayed with what.
Yeah, they tested the waters, didn't they?
Absolutely,
which is what they ended up doing in the end. And because, like you say, they brought the NPCs and put it back in, so they might as well call it Fallout 5. The
only issue is that Fallout is a one-player thing. It needs to stay. Fallout 5 needs to stay one player. None of this online shit, unless it's an option.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's where Fallout 76 comes in. You can play that with other players.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They've tried something different.
I'm not bothered with that. I've played the other 4 games on my own. I'm more than happy to play the next game on my own. I'm not bothered about teaming up with other people and so on. That was the whole point of Fallout the first time. You found everything. Yeah. You found the NPC and spoke to him, and then you went off. You didn't have someone doing it for you. You did it.
Yeah.
And if you missed things, then you missed things.
Exactly. And the game just still went on.
Yeah, if I wanted to play like online or something, I'll play another game. Fallout is, like you said, there's a campaign.
I think the option is there.
Exactly.
I played it when it first came out, and I didn't have a lot of problems with it. Although, there was videos on YouTube every day with people having God knows how many bloody problems, and I was like, but I haven't. I've been to that area and I haven't had that problem.
Yeah.
So I don't get where they were getting the problem for, but obviously they're showing you
probably playing on the Hewlett Packard.
The beige one.
You got the high end PC, mate. That wouldn't do that.
Oh, of course, no. So that's a game.
Yeah,
that's a good choice. I'm definitely going to have to go back to that now.
Definitely, you'd love it. Definitely, for sure.
Right,
nice. Yeah. Anything else in there?
That's it.
Okay, we'll go to the number 3s.
Number 3.
John, back to you, sir.
My number 3 is a game. It's probably the game I've gone back to the most in this game, but it's not my number
Drum
one.
roll.
Here it comes.
It's not my number one. No, it's not what you think it is. It's a
Oh.
game called Path of Exile.
Oh.
I knew it. Told you, didn't I?
Yep.
Yeah.
We called that.
Did you guess
Yeah,
that?
we didn't.
We called that.
Wow.
Okay.
See? John, they know
Fucking
you.
told you.
They know you.
Yeah, I've got a lot of time in that
Read
game.
you like a book, mate.
Only part of it. Basically, you play. You get an option at the beginning. I think there's 7 classes. Trying to remember offhand what 7 of them are. You got a ranger, and they mainly use bows and things. So I've played
The usual ranger, mage, tank, all that stuff.
I suppose, yeah, but they're just called different things. I
Barbarian and all that stuff. And
yeah, he's a marauder.
Marauder, that's it.
But he's basically a barbarian, yeah. And you play. You got a country called Oriath, and the powers that be, shall we say, they take people.
That was a B.
The ones in charge, and they exile people to a place called Rayclast, and you are one of the exiles. So you pick your class, and then you play your game. And
You choose your path
choose your
of
path.
the exile.
Choose the path.
And again, it's one of those games you follow the story. There are people you can talk to. There are things you can do. Once you
Was it like a first person?
yeah, it's an action RPG, bit like Diablo. And again, like we say, top down, not top down, but
Online only?
third
or-
view or whatever they call it. Pardon?
Is it online only?
No, I don't think so.
No? Okay.
Yeah, I think you can play it online, but I don't. I play
Okay,
it
yeah.
offline. And again, it's like you're looting and you're
Shooting.
looting and you're
Are you
shooting.
Including?
I just said that. And you rank up, so your levels go up, and as the game progresses, you end up going back to Rayclast. There are gods in it. You have to fight them. It can get very, very hard. There's been a couple of occasions where I've been stuck on missions because I just can't get past certain characters and so on. But yeah,
Welcome to Dark Souls.
Dark Souls. Yeah. So I mean, it's a game.
So you go back to try and do it again, is it?
Have you completed it?
Yes, on one character I have. I've got a few, and the others obviously I have.
So is it different with the different character then?
Yeah, because your game style changes. Because one of the characters I'm playing with at the moment, he's called a duelist. So he uses mainly swords. So he gets up quite close. But one of my favourite characters is a ranger, and she uses a bow and arrow. So she's like it says ranged. So and I kind of prefer that.
Okay.
But you can swap. Like you've got 2 sets of weapons, so you can start off with your bow, and then if they get a bit too close, you can then swap into a sword or whatever. So you can merge some of the characters. So you can start off with a bow and work your character into mainly using maybe a sword. And some of the weapons will have like gem sockets, and some depending on the type of gem you find.
Are you sure?
Because even the gems
That sounds like Diablo. That's what.
it's like Diablo, but it's not Diablo. And even the gems that you find and the weapons that you find will have certain levels and so on. And you might find a really, really good one, but you can't use it yet because you need to level up your own character first. And some of them have sockets, and some of them have one socket. You can also find things that can change the abilities of some of these weapons. You can change a common weapon into a rare weapon. You can change it from having 1 socket to 3 or 4 sockets. You can link the sockets. If the sockets are linked, they're more powerful
weapons.
Okay. Because certain
You quite
gems.
like these sort of
RPG
RPG games.
And certain gems, some of them are what they call support gems, so they'll work in tandem with another one. So, of course, if you've linked the sockets, it makes the weapon more powerful. And so, yeah, it's a game, like I say, I've probably got nearly 1,000 hours in that game. I'll just keep going back to it. Yeah, I've
1,000 hours.
Yeah.
Incredible.
But yeah.
Disappointing episode to go back.
On one time,
absolutely.
with one character I have, yeah.
Wow.
But again, they update it and they change it.
Is it? Would you say it's harder? Is the
It's
hardest?
harder now.
So it's a
Much
harder
harder
version
game.
of that type
New
of
Game Plus.
Yeah, it's a harder game now because they've added more bosses and gods and more places to go to and so on. So they've kind of like lengthened the game now.
Was it only on PC? No.
No, I think it's on Xbox and all that as well. Yeah.
Part of
Everything.
I think it started on PC. Yes,
Path of the what?
Path of Exile. Path of Exile. It's called.
No, because I do like those kind of top-down sort of RPG. They are quite addictive.
Yeah,
play.
it started. It came out on PC in 2013, and then it went to Xbox in 2017, and PlayStation 4 2019.
There you go.
And Mac 2020.
Nice.
So it's been going
For a while.
nearly 10 years now.
Awesome.
But yeah, it's a game I enjoy playing as much as other games I might mention. I might not.
I called this one.
I didn't know you'd know about that one.
Yeah.
Anything else in that, John?
No, go on.
Right, so my number 3, we're going to stick with the horror genre.
Okay,
Oh.
So we've gone from Alien Isolation,
No.
Yes.
and now we're going to go to one where I can't pick one. I'm going to go with the whole franchise.
Oh, here we go.
Oh.
No.
Is it 2 words?
Resident Evil.
Oh, okay. That's not what I want. It isn't what I thought it was. Then.
Which number is it?
Nice.
Number 3.
Is your number 3 as well? We'll go together then.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
We got
okay.
a clash.
I put
okay.
number 4, but you chose the whole.
You picked 4. I've not picked
couldn't
one
pick
particular, but
But it's your.
Do you wanna do-
It's both.
No,
of your
you
number
go.
three.
You go.
right.
first.
So
And we do it
basically,
together, we do it
it's
together.
Resident Evil. I have grown up with Resident Evil since it came out in 1996. So I love and adore all of these games. There are a range of other games, not just the 1, 2, 3, 4. But there are other ones like that, and I still love those games. Again, it's going back to discovering, the puzzle solving, the monsters, and the survival horror.
Making your herbs.
Yeah, it's mixing your herbs and getting your
Buying your
only so
upgrades.
much ammo you can have. And then we had the revamps, we had the remakes, bringing it all back.
Yeah.
And it's just ones I have multiple copies on it on multiple consoles. And then the other day, last month or so,
What day?
the other day, I went back on playing the remastered Resident Evil on the Switch.
Oh wow!
Because I had it on the GameCube and never finished it. So, again, going back to it on a
Remaster. Which
different
one?
console.
Number 4.
Number 1, I said.
Oh, number 1. Sorry.
Again, as I say, I never played it. Oh, I did play it on the original GameCube because that's what it came out for. And obviously, it came out everywhere else after that. But going back to it again and just reliving that. I mean, I still prefer the original that came out on the PlayStation 1. Because they
hooked, didn't it?
Yeah, but they changed it up a bit on the remaster. But again, just it had the fan base and it made it that. And then look, number 2 got remade. That was huge. And now number 3's been remade. That was huge. Now for some reason number 4 is going to get remade, isn't it? So
I hope they give it justice. I mean, I know we were critical of the number 2 and number 3. But we enjoyed it, so I still enjoyed it.
yeah, it has major plot holes in it
100%. But
compared
it's so
to
much
compared
fun.
to the original. I mean, again, I prefer the originals, but
You can complete it in a couple of hours. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
it's a fun
Visually,
game.
it's good as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I remember
I think you're getting the upgrade. They're doing both of them, number 2 and number 3, as a package.
yeah.
Oh, are
On
they?
the next gen. I think it's coming out in a couple of months' time. I think.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Resident Evil has been in my game of blood for years. I've been a part of Resident Evil for a lot of my life. I even got to play some Resident Evil games before they even come out and stuff.
Wow.
Resident Evil 8 we mentioned on an episode. That was my favourite game of last year as well.
Yeah.
Again, it's I can not go back to even like chapter 5, number 5, which is the co-op one.
Yeah.
Played it with some random person online just so I can play it again. It's just
It's an iconic franchise.
So good, good, man.
Yeah, see, I remember the first one, but I never really got into it. I think, but again, it might have been because another game come out or something that I wanted.
You should do the remakes.
So I'm tempted.
You should do just
Because
give number 2 a try.
because I like the idea of it. So I may well do. Yeah.
Like Gal said, you get it done in a couple of hours if you play it properly.
It's got the elements of
It's a couple of
scariness, but it's
hours,
more like an arcadey version. Especially number 3. It's like you can do it.
3
in a
is
couple
so
hours.
short.
It's
Yeah,
so short.
it's
Like,
ridiculously short.
when I spent like full 50 quid and I found out I completed in a day, I was pissed.
I bet you.
And Ant's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Oh, that's why I didn't buy it." And I was like, "Bastard." But it's like going back on the history of it. Like, I started a bit late on the Resident Evil. I started on the third one, Nemesis. Then I went back, but I particularly like number 3 because obviously that's the one that I started with, and it scared the shit out of me because Nemesis fucking just chased you all over the place. And then it went to Code Veronica. Oh my god,
Code Veronica.
Oh,
that needs a remake, big time. That's such a good game.
PS2,
I think
right?
It was a Dreamcast exclusive originally, but then it went to PS2. Yeah,
PS2,
I think it was PS2. I think you get the.
You can play on Xbox now, though. By the way,
Oh, can you?
yeah.
You get
HD
the. I
remake.
got the bundle with Code Veronica and
Damn.
what is it? A FIFA game. I can't remember FIFA. I still remember just like scaring myself, and I love the mists in that. It added to when
The
you play,
atmosphere.
like you're playing the new PS5 game.
Yeah.
It's just like looking for the news, the ray tracing. That back then it was that
Yeah.
misty sort of. The graphics was like unbelievable,
Incredible, I
man.
bet.
And then what's after that? 4? No, then they did the Resident Evil remakes. It was Resident Evil 1, the Mansion again. And then 0 came out, and then they
0
those graphics were, I think,
for a GameCube.
Yeah,
it was pretty good.
I owned it on the GameCube, and then the other generation consoles. I think the last one was the Xbox. Now I've got it on the Switch. So that, those ones, and I've completed each time. Then number 4 came out. Oh my god! I think for me, it's the granddaddy of the Resident Evil because I think it was at the it had a mixture of like the survival element as well as action intertwined with it.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Yeah.
And I just, that Leon's coat, I just wanted that coat. Like, he was such a badass, man. And the movie just ruined his character for me. I don't know what they did. I know I'm going to go.
Don't even go with the movie.
And
But then 6 ruined it as well, though.
Yeah, I never touched that one. But 5 was really good.
5's underrated.
I might have to. I haven't bought it on the. I think it's on the Switch. I might buy it. I feel like playing it again.
Yeah, it's underrated, dude. 5 isn't too bad.
So yeah, and then obviously they did the recent ones, which I've also played. So I think
it's weird how we've got that jump from third person to first person now. Yeah. I think the first person aspect is quite creepier.
It's more
to be
scarier.
honest. Yeah,
it's more scary. But I do like the action versions as well. Like
But again, it's the mood you have to be in.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like number 4 is incredible. Like I reckon it's got to be like in my top 5 now. I know it's ever changing, but it's such a good game, and I cannot wait for the remake.
Yeah, I just looked. They're all on Steam, so I may well.
It's just the hype. Every time we get that little trailer. Do you remember when the trailer for Village come out at Resident Evil 8, and you didn't know what it was until the very end when Village come up, and then it changed Village to 8. And I was like, Resident Evil!
That's good.
I literally was on the texting to him. He was like, Resident Evil!
And I was like, what the fuck's going on? I was like, oh shit.
I love going back to those ones.
I'm glad you chose it as a franchise because it was quite difficult to for me. Like I love 4 and 5. Yeah, and then again I love the GameCube remix as well. Like going back to the original one.
Yeah, see,
like I love where the camera. I can't remember what it's called. Where the camera stays still and you have to. It's annoying mechanic,
like a static camera.
Yeah,
and the characters.
Yeah, I still love it even to this day. Like I think I played it a year ago.
That makes it scary. Yeah. I would have thought because it's static, so you can see something in a distance and you can't move. But
that's the point of it. That was the point of the annoying camera angle.
Yeah,
but the issue with me, the reason why I couldn't pick a favorite because the original 1996 one is my favorite, which you can't get for love nor money unless you buy an original PlayStation. So that's the issue. And that's the thing with now, when you mention Resident Evil 1, people think straight away the remaster. Yeah. No, that's not the case at all. As much as the remaster is good, don't get me wrong, I personally think it was changed too much. Like when they added, what's her name, Tracy Morgan and all that in there. She was never in the original.
The aspect, as you said,
even the new movie he's done that.
The police station events and all that was fucking sick.
Yeah.
But it's just the story element. I just don't know what the hell.
Just the fact of being in that mansion, and when you went through that door, you never knew what was behind that door. Whether it was a giant snake, fucking massive plant monster, whatever sort of thing. The puzzles you had to do with the piano and everything is just.
Yeah.
Oh man, I want to play it again.
You know, there has never been a game like that since.
Yeah.
Even though they've tried to do it with, you know, other survival horrors like your Silent Hills and all that, nothing is top Resident Evil. And I just like I said, Big Al says, if I'm in the mood for 4, I've got 4 on 5 different consoles. It's just it's such a good game. It's like
I think I pretty much have any Resident Evil on my Xbox. I can't remember off the top of my head. Some on my Switch and some on the PS5 as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's a game we go back.
And I'll probably get it on the Steam Deck as well when it comes out.
We're suckers, man.
I can't help
We're
it
part of the system
because
now.
I keep going back to it. So I have to. It has to be there.
So if I was going to start off with Resident Evil, would I have to start at the? I know you said the first one is remastered on the PC, so would I have to start there?
You don't need to worry about story because I don't think.
That's what I was going to ask. Does it matter which one I?
No,
that's a good question.
I'll say
the issue is for John. Like, do you want to play where you can control your camera, or do you want to play where you can't?
I suppose that's an idea, really.
I mean, if you really,
I just want to play the game.
Right, so hear me out. If you really want to go into it, like from start to finish, then do start to finish 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, right, okay.
But if you just want to give it a try, then go for the number 2 remake.
Yeah.
Or number 3 remake, if that.
Okay. Hold on for a couple of months. They'll do the remastered. I'm sure they'll release it on PC. You'll have 2 and 3. Do that. Yeah. I don't think you can get Code Veronica anywhere. Then jump.
You can on the Xbox.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But
do 2 and 3.
Sorry, John. As well as if you want to go for a complete new story, just go in blind. No, go for 7 first.
Oh yeah.
Biohazard.
Do 7 first. Yeah.
He will shit himself and have a heart attack.
Yeah, 7 went to a first person mode, so maybe number 7 might be a good call for you, John.
Is fucking.
That's actually okay.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
Have you played it?
Freaking scary, mate.
But good choice, sir.
Yeah.
Great minds think alike.
Good choice for you.
Yeah.
Go cool.
That's
What's your number 3?
All right, my number 3. This is probably no surprise to you. Like, you know me more than anyone. Right. This is number 3, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Yeah.
This is your 3. Yeah.
Okay. It's going to be, and I say this for a reason, it's Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Oh, right? Damn it. I was going to say Lawnmower Simulator.
Almost made it onto this. Almost did. That game, was made, it has replayability woven in the DNA of the game. Okay, that's the reason why you keep on playing this game. So that's probably the reason why every other Call of Duty player plays this game. The campaign, is one of those things you play the once off, but it's so good because it's Modern Warfare. And see, I mentioned this on a previous podcast. They're one of my all-time games, and I think like John, you're on that episode as well. But there's that one mission where you're in Manchester and you're storming the houses. SAS. Yeah. And the SAS, I played that SO19 as well, and they said how realistic that was. And these guys didn't even contact them or nothing. They just did it off the bat. Yeah. So the campaign again has replayability because it's amazing, and you want to play it for that realism. But obviously, the main thing is the online. That's what 90% of players play for, right? What made this is the Modern Warfare. This is the 2018 Modern Warfare, right? Not the original. I mean, the original one, that was a game changer. But the reason why this one did it for me, so my thing is that I get the Call of Duty game that Christmas and I play it for about 7 months and I grind it every so often. Yeah. It's not the only game I play, but I'd log on once in a while. Every 3 times a week and play about an hour. And then I would prestige by the end of the 7 months, where some people prestige within 2 weeks, right? Yeah. But it takes me a long time to do it. But what made this one interesting is that it's the first one they introduced seasons. So every month was a different season. So you get to level 150, but then when the month ended, you had to start again and play again. But then,
So it was a sort of a prestige in a sense anyway.
In a sense, yeah. But then every season had new maps and it had new characters and new weapons, all for free, or you can, if you want to speed it up, you put the currency in it, whatever. But this is the reason why it was replayability for me, because I kept on going back, and it wasn't even after I completed it. Normally the previous Call of Duties, after 4 months, it was April, I was done. You see the trailer for the next one, whatever. But this one, it was October, and the game was coming out next month, and I was still hooked on the previous one. I don't know how Activision, they bastards, they know how to kind of grab you in, and seriously, and not even a single penny was spent. That was the beauty about it. I didn't put any in-game currency. I was just playing it as it was, just playing the missions and finding people online to play with and stuff, and it was absolutely fantastic. So that's the reason why I made it for me. And I think that time as well, I say it's 2019, not 2018, 2019, because it went into lockdown.
Yes,
right?
right.
So when lockdown happened, that was more of a reason to play this game more, and then the Warzone
the time.
came out. You had the time, exactly, yeah. So I
That's where
prestige
the
much
online
quicker.
really grew, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm prestige much quicker, and in the sense you just kept on playing it again and again and again. So yeah, that's basically it. That's all I can say, really. Yeah, because I think we mentioned Call of Duty quite a lot.
Oh, we did, last time.
So I remember when we was in lockdown, we had a few nights on Dead by Daylight and stuff.
Yes.
So did we interrupt your Call of Duty session during that?
But it's
So for God's sake, they're asking me to do Dead by Daylight again. I want to play Call of Duty.
I'm trying to prestige for the 100th time.
exactly for the 100th time this week. Yeah,
No,
but bromance dropped
I did play like Call of Duty back in the day.
back in the day.
But
right,
I think it's that.
Back in the day. Well, this was 3 years ago.
I think it's the third one.
yeah.
The first two I purely played because of the campaign, and then I can't remember when the online kicked in, but I played it a couple of times.
Yeah, Modern Warfare.
And then it was a case of, I think it was the topic we always say: do you focus online and play that game for a year and miss out on other games? And that I just had to choose. You know what? I'll play Call of Duty just campaign if I ever get it.
Yeah,
and then I won't bother with the online.
Yeah. Good choice.
But I do appreciate people play it. I mean, it is
Absolutely.
that mechanic of prestiging, and it's a good sort of mechanic to have for an online game. It is pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. Like some people, I didn't even realize recently. Some. Well, this is actually it's quite deep. I say this, but there's people who have ADHD, right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of them play Call of Duty, and I didn't realize this. One of my friends, she was constantly hooked on this, and I would ask her. She's probably listening. I'll be like, Lauren, why do you play this game a lot? And she told me that, she'd been recently, she thinks she has it. She's been diagnosed with it. But for her, it helps her to focus. It's something about the replayability of it. And then I found out that a lot of people who play this game also had that as well. And for them, it's kind of like, they've had a hard day, or it's stress, and their mind's not in, focusing on. Yeah, it's all over the place, right? But it helps to focus, and it helps to keep them down. So in a weird way, it's therapeutic as well. Yes. Like no one knew that would happen, And but yeah, it's incredible. Yeah,
and going back onto your point, you got to appreciate him not doing microtransactions actually all this time.
Thank you.
That is a good point.
Thanks,
I never realized that.
So the hardcore players would play.
Can you imagine how much money they would have made though?
And they did, ridiculous amount. That's the thing though. They left.
That's what kills it for me.
Yeah, it was like
I've no interest in it whatsoever.
It is one for you. Like recently, Gran Turismo came out, right?
Yeah, what happened with that?
And they got to get all the reviews. They all done it other way. 7 days later, they bang on this microtransaction after they get all the reviews.
You're kidding me.
And it's like ridiculous.
It becomes pay to win then.
Yeah, it's something like, so you have, it'll take like 20 hours to grind for this one car or something ridiculous.
But you could just buy the car.
And it's like time limited, and it's bonkers. They've proper fucked up.
Why do they do that?
But I don't know.
But then what's the point in playing the game?
They released it without the microtransaction.
Yeah.
And they got all the reviews, like I was saying, and then something just I think a couple of days ago. Yeah, there's here we go.
What the hell?
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Why do people keep fun Sony?
But it's like there are a few games out there, and they do have microtransactions, but those microtransactions do nothing other than make your character look different or whatever. They might you can put flames. You can buy it. I think it was
essentially it's the same.
Let's say from say £1 or £2, and you can put flames on your sword. It doesn't make your sword any fucking better. It just makes it look cooler.
I mean, it's probably the same with the
I've got no
GT.
problem with that.
Sure.
But why? But there are games out there like Call of Duty and whatever. There are a few of them where you can pay to get the better weapons. And I'm thinking, that's not fair to everyone else, then, is it?
Absolutely, exactly.
You're getting sniped all the time by some bloke who's paid £25 for the best sniper rifle.
Exactly.
And you can grind for it, like you're saying. You might have to go so far into the game to get it, but he's got it straight away because he paid for it.
Exactly.
Well, that's what, to me, that's what ruins games like that.
I just realised what's your number one.
Motherfucker.
You just realised.
Oh, actually now.
Anyway, any more on your number 3? Go cool.
No, that's it. I think the reason that game kind of falls in because the whole topic of replayability for me that just defines it. It's in the
and you still go back to it.
Absolutely, yeah. Even
nice. Good choice, sir. Just goes to show that shooting people online is therapeutic.
It is therapeutic.
Number 2,
as told by Gokumon.
Number 2.
So, John, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is Diablo.
Damn it.
We didn't see that coming.
So he's reversed it. He's reversed it now. So John, Diablo, yes, go for it. Diablo 1 or 2?
Again,
or 3?
I'm doing it as the franchise because I've gone back. Yeah, I can't.
All right,
I've
if you
gone
had to
back
choose
in-
which one though.
third one probably.
Wow. Okay. Good. No, I played them.
I did like Reaper of Souls.
3 sick.
So I mean, the second one remastered come out, and I've been back and played that a couple of times. Haven't replayed the first one in a long time.
I still need to play the remastered.
But yeah, Diablo's always been one of my guilty pleasures. Same as Path of Exile.
Yeah, I mean,
And
your last two choice.
and the next one, my number one, again guilty pleasure.
It's just, I mean, I think you have some sort of addiction to that type of gameplay, don't you? Because
Action RPGs, I just love action
Exile one
RPGs.
was very similar. It sounded very similar.
They are. I mean, I think, like you say, I think there's 3 or 4 of them games that they're very similar.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know what it is. It's just something. I think Diablo started all of that because that's the older of all the games, I would say, on the list. So,
but Diablo 3 is like, it's amazing, but it's a wicked couch co-op. Amazing.
Seriously?
I've never played it co-op,
me and my
obviously, but
brothers
it's meant to be very,
destroyed
very good.
it like
I remember
ridiculously.
because your
So
brothers
much
would
fun.
say,
It's so much fun, like couch co-op.
That's great, and you can interact.
It's so good.
Amazing.
I just love the story of it all.
It's got a campaign, right? It's
a campaign.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I like the.
It's all going to Xbox
building-
now, isn't it?
Yeah,
Son of a gun.
I tell you, man.
You're never going to play it. Why are you shaking your head?
He'll dabble. He'll have a dabble in it.
Oh, I'm going to play StarCraft.
Oh no, I never played StarCraft.
But yeah, it's a franchise that I have always liked playing. Can't wait for the 4th one. Probably be waiting another year or 2 for that because that's the one. That's one thing about them. They never sort of.
It's all right, mate. You can play it on your Series X.
But that's the thing with Blizzard, though. I mean, they never give much away.
I have to say that their cinematics is one of the best in the industry.
Seriously.
Have you not seen Blizzard's cinematic? Oh my
I mean, it's one of the
even Diablo's.
Even the Baldur's Gate game is really good. That's I don't think that's Blizzard, is it?
Yeah.
No.
It's the only franchise of games that I really, really enjoyed playing that I've actually got books of it.
Oh wow!
On the
they got
artwork.
novels and right.
No.
Wow.
Then we
he was showing me this one.
Yeah,
Really?
you can get
Artwork for what?
you can get the novels
Diablo.
and you can read.
So cool.
They've wrote the novels and things, so you can read the story and stuff like that. But I've not bothered with them. But I've bought.
You got to send me pictures of it. I want to see that.
I've got these hardback books and they've got all the artwork in them, and the artwork is phenomenal.
I can imagine.
And they're official. They're done by Blizzard and who Blizzard have brought on board to do it all.
Like
So
the
it's
art
all,
directors and stuff.
It's not done by third parties or anything like that.
Oh, that's wicked.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I played Diablo 3, and then they brought out Reaper of Souls, and that just took it to another level.
Wow.
I just, as a franchise, like Ant was saying with Resident Evil, you can't really pick one because it's like. Ooh.
I thought you would have said 2.
What's it going to be?
I thought you would have said.
No, I must admit, because
when I first met him, it was all he talked about when I.
Diablo 3.
Yeah, Diablo 3.
Yeah, I'm a big Diablo 3 fan.
But to be honest, that was a peak.
Like, I think he bought a laptop just to play it at one point.
At work.
That and Fallout 4.
Yeah.
Jeez.
No way, really, John.
Yeah, Fallout 4 is
I remember.
For me, it's got Fallout 4 has got replayability, but it's not a game I've gone back to and played for a very long time. So that's why it's not on my list. It would be in my top 10, but it's not in my top 5.
In the early 2000s, there was this game channel called Game Network.
Oh, mate.
Yeah. They used to have this.
Name rings a bell.
Game Network.
Game Network.
Yeah, it's just like.
It was a random channel, like a budget channel.
I had this big guy and this skinny guy just talk about. But in the background, they always had this sort of weird. I don't know what it was. It was the game was Diablo 2.
Yeah.
Obviously, I didn't know, but it was just like this guy just going. I don't know why they kept showing it. It was always on, and it was always Diablo 2, and then
the Stranger.
Who just going around. I don't know if there was commentary over it or something.
Yeah.
Guarantee, like during the day, if you flicked it on, there was like Diablo 2 was running. I was like, what is going on, man? At certain times they'll have their reviews or previews of their games, but certain times there was always someone playing Diablo, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. But it's like the same characters are in all 3 games, the same town, similar story, but it's like each game takes it a step further. Because it's like Diablo 1, you were following the story of where this stranger came from and so on. And then in Diablo 2, it was the same thing again. You went back to Tristram and you found Deckard Cain and blah, blah, blah. And then again in 3, you went to Tristram and you found Deckard Cain and so on. And so the story just goes on, but they just add more to it and more people to talk to and more places to visit and more weapons to find and more ways of leveling up your character. It's like it's a game I've gone back to several times and I've played different types of characters. I kind of like. I started off with a person with a sword and ended up changing them into someone that used a bow because I found a really, really good bow. So I thought, oh, might as well pick it up and use it. And then you end up, and that's the thing with Diablo. You can change. You can chop and change out as you find good weapons. And but again, like I was saying with the other game, you find a weapon, you can't use it yet. It's so many levels above you. But the fact is, you found it, and they've got like uniques and rare items and so on. And then all these weapons.
I'm guessing that's why you jumped into the others game because you loved that sort of. Yeah. Diablo games where it's like when Crimson Dawn or
you say
Grim Dawn. Crimson Dawn. You're thinking, well,
that's from Han Solo. The movie.
I keep hearing Crimson.
We've heard of that. Yeah, Grim Dawn.
But you got this, like I said, like
I like a pattern forming here.
Yeah,
but it's not his number one. His number one's a third person.
No, it's not. Number one's a different name.
And he had Diablo 2's
leveling up a character, you finding weapons and things. And again,
going through a dungeon and getting those swords.
Yes, that's what dungeon crawlers. I love dungeon crawlers.
Yeah.
So yeah,
good shout, man.
That's my Diablo.
Nice.
Not my number one.
Anyhow,
I think you might know my number one anyway. But, yeah.
My number 2 is going to be short and sweet because the reason I go back to it is my favourite game of all time, and it's Half-Life 2.
Oh, mate. Yeah.
That's
it.
I played it recently after yours.
If you don't know Half-Life 2, you're not a gamer.
I recently played it, so yeah, I'm a gamer now.
Half-Life 2 again is like I said, it's my favourite game of all time. I own it on many consoles. I go back to it, and even though it's like Alien Isolation, even though I know what's going to happen, I can't help but enjoy myself. Sometimes I go back to it to just do achievements that I never even knew about, like the Garden Gnome one. Do you remember me telling you about that one? So I just played that game just to do that. Or I played to do the achievement at Ravenholm, where you don't use any weapons at all.
There? That's Ravenholm. We don't go down.
we don't go there.
I gotta say, like, I think you have to, as a gamer, you have to play it, and you have to think back.
To Ravenholm.
You have to think like where it was in it. I think it changed everything, that game. The mechanics, the world where you jump into the vehicle. This is what I think changed, and I kind of appreciate it now, but I kind of wish I played it at that time.
Yeah,
where if you played it at that time, you would have seen where things were going. Because
thing is, I mean, I've replayed Half-Life 2 probably 2-3 times, I suppose. But again, not for a very long time because
it still holds up. I still play it.
That's the same.
I would have no problem downloading it and playing it again tonight.
I have played that game 10 times, and I just have a blast every time. There's not one game that has done the same thing for me.
But I've played the other version, the other games of it, the other versions, not like the DLCs, like Blue Shift, where you play as Barney.
Yeah, because that's Half-Life 1 though. But my original pick was going to be the Orange Box, but then the issue is Half-Life 2 is the main part of Orange Box. Exactly. So when I say Half-Life 2, I mean Half-Life 2 with Half-Life Episode 1 and obviously in 2 as well. And the fact that we may get a third one now because Alex has changed the timeline in her game.
Yes.
So we may get a third one now. So fingers crossed it might happen.
Has anyone played the VR version?
That's what I'm saying.
I'd love that one.
The ending has altered time. So we might get a third one now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I hope so.
Look it up. Look up the ending because it'll be like mind blown.
I don't want to look it up.
Mind blown.
Half-Life 3.
But
possibly.
Yeah, you guys have pretty much said it for me. Yeah. It's not enough awful lot else I can say.
Like I said, the only thing is I wished that I played it when it came out.
Yeah.
Just to appreciate it so more.
At the time.
I don't know, because it's still a good game, even with today's games that are out there.
You haven't missed anything playing it now.
No, you haven't.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like
graphics are better in a lot of games now, but it's not
seeing
about
the
that. It's
visuals
the story.
at the time, and I was like, oh my god, this is
incredible.
This is amazing.
You should, have you never played it?
No, I played it now.
Oh, okay,
That's what I'm saying.
yeah,
I wish I played it at that time.
Okay, yeah.
Then I would have been like, shit, this is how like first person shooters
Yeah.
gonna be. I think this is the game where, like I said earlier, that this is the first time you jump into a vehicle and you be able to use it in game
Or
and stuff.
you're just using gravity.
Yeah, the gravity gun was a game changer as well.
Gosh.
And
what was that enemy? Like the one that you hate that shoots?
Oh, well, so it's a head crab, but it's a head crab that's poisonous, and it does that the most horrifying scream you could ever have of something jumping at you, trying to attach to your face. It is fucking horrendous, and that gives me chills to this day. If I heard that in a dark alley, I'd shit my pants, 100%. But again, roll on Steam Deck so I can have Half-Life 2 on the go. Cannot fucking wait. It'll be the
11th time?
6th time I've bought that game now, so I can't help myself. Half-Life 2, number 2.
That is brilliant.
Nice.
See, I'm the cheapskate. I just play them all on the PC, but again, like you say, it's got replayability regardless of the console, of the platform you're playing it on. So
Amazing.
Good shout, man.
very good shout.
So my one, it's a particular one from a franchise, which I have said previously now, but I didn't know. Like, I'm going off topic. Well, the number one would have been a game that I really adore so much, but I didn't pick it because, like you said, it's not accessible as much. So I picked another. So I'm going to stick to my books.
Okay.
So I stick to what I chose. And same with this one, I stick to this one. So this one's Final Fantasy 9.
Okay,
Which I mentioned in the previous episode, so I keep it sweet.
Yeah.
And purely because I owned it originally on the PlayStation. I think it came out on the it did come out on the PC. I owned it then. I don't have it now. Obviously, I don't have a PC.
Yeah.
I think earlier, maybe PS5 had it. Now I've got it on the Switch. And I'm fingers crossed they do a remake of it. Cause
in the future.
Obviously, Final Fantasy VII was remade.
Yeah.
Why I chose this one is because this is the one that, as much as I love 7, I love number 8. But I love the story.
Number 8 needs to be remade as well.
Number 8 is so bad. The Gunblade, oh my God. But this one is more dear to me because I love the story, the love story. And I think I mentioned it in the previous episode. And it's the one where if I want to I've always been I'll be like, I'm going to go back and play it just purely for the story. So I think I must have completed it 3 times. It's a long old slog.
It's a long game.
Yeah, so I've got it on the Switch. I haven't actually completed on the Switch yet, but I've completed it 3 times. And obviously, it's my turn, your turn type of game. Obviously, I can't remember what episode it's on, but it's I love the story in it, and I'm going to keep it sweet. And it's one of those ones I will cherish, and I will always go back and play
it. Yeah. Is it the story? Is it also the RPG element?
RPG element as well.
As well as
like,
the story.
You know, you've got a group. You can obviously switch around the characters you have.
Yeah,
and you get stronger and stuff. You got summons,
build up the XP and stuff. And
I wouldn't mind number 10 being remade as well. To be honest,
number 10's banging, man.
Yeah, number 10's would be a good remake.
So
PS3 version, isn't it? Number 10.
No, PS2.
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 Oh yeah.
I think I got that on the Switch as well.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think it's on the Xbox. Xbox the Pass.
It was. It's not on there now.
Oh, they've taken it off. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I had even 10. I think it's more critically acclaimed than 9, but it's always 9 that always gets. I think it's
9 went under the radar big time.
I think because they didn't like the all because you had number 8 as this sort of like really good sort of. I think they each one goes with a different art style. And number 8 was more like modern, where this looks like it's gone like medieval time, and the characters were like cartoonified.
That's right.
But I really I appreciate that, and it was like the characters had like tails. Some of the tails come out and stuff. But every version is like different version. Even the monsters are different, and they look the same, but certain aspects are different and stuff.
Yeah.
But even if you look at the monsters or the characters now, it's completely like over the top and stuff. But it's still that they're probably named the same name as well. Yeah. But again, I think that story again. I won't go back into it. But it's at the age as well. I think must have been like a teenager, and it must have been like sort of my first sort of romance sort of story.
Yeah.
The main character has with the character. So and all the characters. It had one of the best magicians, Weavy. If you know, you know. Who else was this? Steiner. Steiner was so sick.
Steiner.
That's his name. He was like a tank in it. And Zidane, the main character, of course, badass. Yeah. So,
good choice, sir.
Oh, yeah.
I love that game, yeah.
Amazing. Final Fantasy 9?
9.
How many? What's it up to now? Is it 15?
15, yeah, I think.
I didn't realise I was that.
Soon to be 16.
Yeah.
They're gone for a
confirmed.
more Game of Thrones sort of.
But is it the same story that leads?
No,
it's different every time.
Different every time.
Yeah.
That's good then. Oh,
That's
okay.
really cool. Yeah.
And they
That's actually
experimented.
really cool.
That is, I think after 10, it stopped becoming the mine turn,
I might have
your
to give
turn
it a
sort
go,
of thing.
because I've never
Yeah.
played any.
We
of
went
the
online,
Final
didn't it,
Fantasy.
after 10?
Me neither.
Yeah.
Me
Never
neither.
played any of them.
Yeah.
But
I really need to get
it
into
gets
it.
a lot of.
They name
Yeah.
each system they have, the RPG system, the My Turn, is each one. I think this one was M.T.V.B or something, because each. So, you'll have a little power up system, and then when you get the power up, you can do a special one. I think in the number 7, it's called Limit Break. Yeah, each one's got their own sort of.
Wow.
So it's not always the same gameplay.
Yeah.
It's always like different. Obviously,
It's interesting.
my
Different
turn, your turn,
mechanics
but-
each game.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. Right. Okay.
Go cool. What's your number 2?
Right, my number 2. This is I'm gonna come. It's a bit of like you'll never expect this, but you'll understand when I say it. Okay, I'm gonna say it. Overcooked 2. Straight up, the cooking game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Replayability.
I've heard of it. Oh,
My
okay.
goodness.
So good.
Yep. So it's basically
Multiplayer.
Multiplayer, absolutely, and it's a couch co-op game.
Yep.
With the most insane
And a party game.
replayability.
Well, I guess I know what's going to be in his top 5 of that episode. Couch co-op games.
Oh yeah, you kind of guessed it here, folks. Yeah, it could be Overcooked 2. It could be. We'll see. But yeah, this is incredible. The reason, so I got introduced this through Gal and the brothers at the time. I think I was just at your house, and you're like, "Okay, do you like cooking?" And I was like, "Yeah, I don't mind cooking." It's like, "Okay, play this game." And
We
just
said
the
it like
whole.
a proper Asian man. Do you like cooking?
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
did I actually say?
You went
Right.
full Chapati G earlier when
shit.
you said bloody. bloody bastard.
bastard.
Sorry, go on, carry on.
So this
Look at
game
your aunties.
explain.
fantastic. It's all about cooking, and and
Sorry.
you cook and you make food.
You cook food because we locked up the aunties.
You like,
I'm sorry. Go on.
yeah. So it's basically replayability because you play with your friends, and then what did it for me was last year they made it single player, which I thought was crazy. But you press one button, the L1 button, and you switch between the chefs. And I kid you not, like it was
That sounds
available
like
free.
chaotic.
It's chaotic, but I tell you something, it helps you to focus. Like you just can't stop, but you have to get, basically the way you do it is you get certain stars, and then once you complete it, you move on to the next kitchen or the next part of the story. And for me, I had to get 3 stars before I moved on to
Yeah,
the
that's
next one.
annoying.
That's the
Okay.
way to do it, right? That's how you play this game. And it was so, like, at first I was like, okay, I'm going to breeze through this game. But you're constantly thinking about the strategy, like, how am I going to do this, right? And you think you're by yourself as well, and you're constantly having an argument with yourself. Because when you're playing it with your friends, you have an argument with your friends. I mean, there's one time I remember, like, we sat down and we had a blueprint. I think I said this on a previous episode. And we, about how
Even
we're going to do
Big J
this.
was playing.
Even Biggie. Right?
He doesn't- he
the
doesn't play games.
He never plays games, and he was absolutely hooked on this game. That jabroni, like seriously, it was so like, it was so
Jabroni, yeah.
like
He'll
really,
be like,
really.
I will cut the onions.
Yeah, it's like
I'll make the
I'll cut the
rice.
onions. Yeah, I'll cut the onions, and you make the rice. And I'll cut the onions again, and you make the rice. And I was like, Jay, you just said that. Like, typical Jay.
He sounds like a football coach as well.
Yeah.
Well, you tackle this guy, and you go there. Yeah.
With
We
the
got the
blueprints
video.
and everything.
He-
Yeah.
Got the whiteboard out and start drawing.
Exactly.
We filmed it. It was
We
actually
actually
quite
filmed
intense.
it.
We
It was
paused it and we
so
were like actually
intense.
mapping it out. You do
Yeah.
this and then run over
Right.
here, wash the dishes, and then come back and.
So is it like,
Yeah.
is it
It's
like
basically you're
like
in
a
the
chef's
kitchen.
kitchen?
Yes.
That's it. And that's what
One
makes it
cuts
interesting.
veggies, one washes dishes,
Oh,
one
okay,
serves.
so-
One
Right.
serves and stuff. So you're constantly communicating with each other, and that's what it makes it.
So you're like
proper-
Gordon Ramsay telling them what to do.
Tell you what,
Basically,
We'd
but
have
in the
an
most
MTV
fun
games night
way.
Okay.
It's
and
incredible.
film it.
MTV?
MTV-B
That's better.
Right after.
Yeah,
games night.
We should do it.
before the lawyers shoot us.
And Tekken or Mortal Kombat tournaments as well.
That's a good
Yeah.
idea. Yeah,
A cooking game. I wanna
We
see
so
cook.
should do that. That's
Yeah, we should.
incredible. Yeah, even after this game, I go into, like, for example, a restaurant. You see them working in the back, and you're thinking, why are they taking so long to make my food? But you see them running around. You're like, I know.
It's because that person's not tapping B to run faster.
to shoot forward, isn't it?
That's it.
Yeah. It's
Damn,
so
man.
genius.
One-
yeah.
that's-
but
so
one person is insane.
That sounds like the soul games of like cooking game.
I'm telling you, bro.
Why'd you keep
like,
cooking?
Yeah.
Just say cooking.
I don't know. Cooking. I don't know.
Cooking
It's a
into
cooking
ding.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
definitely had to be.
I say you need the right bunch of people to play that game because it's frustrating. I play with my
absolutely.
daughter and I'm like shouting at her. This poor 5-year-old.
I'm sorry, Dad.
It's like, yeah, honestly, it was like that. I got so into that. And it's just like, come on, the Onion King wants us to do this.
Exactly.
Do
Yeah,
this.
we have to do this for the Onion King. Yeah, it's such a genius concept, though. To have you to replay the game, like, and then you got the I thought I finished the main story, and then there's the DLCs, and they got like seasonal DLCs for like the Chinese New Year, like summer carnival, Christmas time, or like it was just like it just kept on going. You know, it was really
nice.
good. Yeah, hooked. It got me. Yeah,
and you keep going back to it.
Keep going back. Even now, I've still got it installed on my PS5. Like, just turn it on and just play a level. Fine, 1, 2.
Does it help you focus?
100%.
Helps with ADHD.
That as well. Yeah.
Anything else on that, sir?
That's it. No.
Nice.
Short and sweet. Had to be done.
Right, guys. Then we're going to go to the finals.
It's number 1.
John, this is your episode. What's your number 1, sir?
Hey.
My number 1, right, company called Bohemia Interactive. They brought out a war simulator game called Armour.
Let's just stop for a sec. It's Ubisoft. What's the game?
It's not.
It's not.
It's not. No.
Sure.
I knew you thought that. No.
Go on then. Go, Karen. Sorry, Karen. So it's a war simulator.
The game you thought isn't one I have.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we did mention it.
It's got to be.
Go.
John's just like, yeah, go.
Oh, God.
We didn't think it'd be number 1, but we thought it'd be number 1. Go.
Anyway, the game, it started off as a mod for a game called Armour 2.
You guys got it, right?
And
Yeah,
it's
we got it.
called Daisy.
Oh, damn, it's not.
Oh, wow.
I did say Daisy, but I didn't think it could be number
thought
1.
it
Number 1, shit.
Nice.
And the
Well, we said like, it was either Division, World of Tanks, or I said Daisy.
Okay, yeah, no,
That's the World of Tanks.
haven't
World
played
of
World of
Tanks.
Tanks in a year or two. Ages.
Yeah.
Division, yes, I've got a lot of hours on Division.
You did it on purpose, then you tell the truth.
No, I didn't. It's just because I haven't played them probably haven't played Division 2 for a year.
Fair enough.
Right.
So explain Daisy then.
Right, well, Daisy, like I say, started off as a mod for a game by Bohemia Interactive called Armour 2. And it's like an army simulator type game, or Armour 2 was. Daisy started off, you used the same maps, but it was more about you rather than being a soldier, shall we say.
Yeah.
So in Daisy, it's gone through the things. It's now its own standalone game. And in a sense, the Armour series have taken a back seat to Daisy now. And you basically start off as a civilian. There's been this virus has attacked. Most of the people now are, because they don't call them zombies. They're called infected because they are infected by this virus. And they don't try to
I always think of 28 Days Later when they
yeah,
say that.
yeah, exactly.
When someone says infected, I always wonder, infected with what?
The thing is, I mean, the NPCs in it are infected, but they don't want to kill you. They're trying to beat you up, basically. They're trying to like attack you. They're not trying to eat you like zombies in other films are. What?
No, sorry, I'm thinking of the movie. Carry on. No, I'll talk about it after the episode. Carry on.
So you start off with it's a survival game, and you start off with like a t-shirt and a pair of shorts, and you've got maybe if you're lucky, you might have an apple and a bandage, and that is it.
Oh wow!
And you have to basically survive. So you have to.
So it's a survival game.
It's a survival game. The map is, I think, is something like 90 square miles. There are other versions of the game out as well. They've got other maps. It's the same game but other maps, and you basically have to loot your way to the best gear. Obviously, it's an online game, so there are servers you can go on where it's PvE only, but most of them are PvP, and it's once you're dead. That's it. You've got to start all over again. Okay. So that's why it had to be my number 1, because every time I play it, once I'm dead,
got to go back to it.
I have to start all over again. You're starting with nothing. You're starting with a t-shirt.
So how can you complete the game?
Yeah. Okay.
There is no completion.
Okay.
If you
get good,
you get good. Yeah, you
Right.
kill. If you're lucky, you kill other players, and they might have the good stuff. So you take the good stuff from them, and your character might last an hour or two. You might last for days. But eventually, someone
as in
will.
Days, as in game days or actual days?
Yeah, it'd be in game time because it'll have night and day. There's weather in it, so you might rain. You get lightning, foggy areas. There are in the main map. There are there's 2 static areas that are they've got like gas. They're like gas zones, and that's where the best loot in the game is in there. But to get into it, you need like NBC suits. So you have to find medical buildings and maybe airfields and stuff that might have medical tents. So you have to find boots, you have to find trousers, jacket, hood, the mask. You have to find the filters. You've got to find all, and you won't find all that in one go. You only find that by going around the map. You might kill a player and he might have all the gear already. And then once you get into the gas zone, you have to have more than one filter because the filters won't last very long. You have to take loads of rags because if you go in without all the gear, you start getting wounded, it's slowing you down. So you've got to have loads. And after about a couple of minutes, if you haven't got all the gear, you get infected. And once you get infected with it, you're dead. It'll kill you in like minutes. But even if you had all the gear, there are infected people in there that will try and attack you as well. So it's all about stealth. You're trying to be quiet, but at the same time, there might be 50 players on the map, and you might not see anyone for an hour. And by the time you see them, you'll have some good loot, but you won't have all the best loot.
Is it always 50 players or?
No. It depends on the servers.
Okay.
But I like it because every time you play it, it's a different game. I don't need compass or anything like that anymore because I know loot routes and I know certain roads will take me to certain towns. I know roughly what direction they're in now because I've been playing it for 7 or 8 years now.
Wow, really?
So I know the towns. I know which part of the coast because there's 2 parts of the coast you can spawn on, and one side the road is before the railway. And on the other side of the map, the railway is before the road. So
you can tell.
So once you always point north when you spawn. You always spawn on the coast, and you got to work your way inland. Because you go to the nearest town, there might not be anything there because other players would have spawned in before you, and the gear might take an hour to respawn or something. So there might be 10 players will have gone through that village before you. So you're constantly looking, and of course, and all the time this is going on, you're starving and you're dying because you've got no food and you're cold because you haven't got any good gear on. Yeah. So and no matter how well you know the map, other players also know the map. So you're trying to think, well, where would he not have gone? And then you might start getting stuff. You can kill animals, you can cook them, and that'll bring your health back up. You depending on how, if you get to a town and you'll see like dead, infected people, they only last maybe like a half an hour or maybe less, maybe 10 minutes. So someone's not far from you, and then that makes you think, shit, is he watching me right now, or has he just carried on? Because you don't know. And all of a sudden, a bullet will come out of nowhere, and it'll come up on the screen. You are dead, and now you've got to start all over again.
Oh, shit.
Or you might get shot and wounded, and now you're trying to limp away.
See, that would just infuriate the fuck out of me.
Oh no! Well, it depends on It's a bit like a Souls game. You play so far in a Souls game, and then you die.
We don't start away from the beginning, though.
Well,
Jesus.
Yeah, I know. But with DayZ, you do. You start all over again. But the thing is, you can build bases. You can bury stuff, so you can have stashes. And a clever way of playing the game is having stashes on both coasts. So you might find a really good gun and some good clothes. So you can find barrels, and then you find a shovel, and you can put the gear into a bag or into the barrel, and you can bury it. And then later on, if you get killed, you can just run to wherever the nearest one. You've got to remember where it was.
Yeah.
And dig it up, and now you've got some good gear again. So you can play it that way. I don't. I prefer to start at the beginning and just start all over again.
But interesting, man.
It's like I say, it's
I
a
don't
game.
think it's for me.
It's not. Well, no, because it depends on the game. It's not a game like you're playing. There's no story to it.
I'm intrigued how far someone's played. You must know that.
How do you mean?
How long someone has survived?
How does that work, out of curiosity? I mean, when you say, like, I want to go make a cup of tea or something and turn it off, Do you come back?
Yeah, you can log out and log back in with your
But then you'll start with what you left over with.
Yeah, you start with
So you don't lose your shit.
No, you only lose everything when you're dead.
Right, okay.
So if you get killed, that's it. Okay. But you can team up with people. You don't have to team up, obviously.
Yeah, you can do it yourself.
I mean, I follow a lot of streamers on Twitch, and they play it. And I get days where I'm not in the mood to play the game, but I'll quite happily sit for an hour or two and watch them play it.
Yeah,
and it's like, it's not, in a sense, you're kind of like second guessing because you know what town they're going to go to next or whatever, because it's like, that's just the map. You can go anywhere on the map. There's nothing that says you have to go there. You can go wherever you want.
Yeah.
And the loot that you find each time might be different, because you might find a jacket in this house and then an hour later you die, and when you go back to that house you might find a gun.
Yeah.
So everything's randomized. I like the survival sense in, like, I'll go off and I'll play it, and I might have, say, I'll make a backpack rather than pick up one of the ones I find, and now I'm limited to what I can carry. And I might decide that I'm going to not pick up the food that I find in the houses. I'm going to hunt. So I'm going to kill an animal and skin it and cut it up and eat the animal instead.
Going to mount that beast.
So, yes, so, I mean, you have got different styles of playing.
That's probably realistic, though.
Oh, God, yeah. Because, like I say, if you don't find... I've played it before and not found stuff and just end up dying. Because you no matter what town you go to or what house you go to, someone else has been there before you, and the loot's gone, and you can't wait. Your character, I think if you haven't found food or water within an hour, you die. And you can go that long.
This game, man.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But I love playing it. I'll never get bored of playing it.
Yeah.
Especially if you're get to an airfield and you like. You're just overwatching, and you see a couple of players run in.
Yeah,
which I've done before, and you take them both out. You think, oh, great
feeling.
But then you learn very quickly not to run over to them and loot them, because there might be a third one or someone else on the other hill watching.
Yeah, it's a bit
and
like
he obviously he'll hear the shots. And he knows you're over there somewhere.
Yeah.
But I always give it like, say, 10 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. And then I might try and go and loot them.
Wow, that's a long time. Because when you think, even like Warzone, a game of Warzone lasts like 30 minutes. It's the same thing. Yeah. If someone loots, you don't go for it. You just wait. But then in this game, it seems like you have to wait an eternity.
But you can. I've watched people play it, and they don't kill players. They'll shoot them in the legs, break the leg.
Oh wow.
Right. And because it's another way of playing the game. If you do it, especially in a town. And there's loads of infected people. And the guy's running away from them. Well, if you shoot him in the leg and he falls down, he can't stand up because he's got a broken leg now. And then the Zeds will kill him. And especially if you do it with a silenced weapon, because then no one else hears your shot. And then you can go over and loot, and no one's heard the shot, so no one knows that you're there. There's many ways of playing it. And it's one of the only games. I started playing it on PC. And now I play it on the Xbox.
Shut up.
No, you traded the mouse.
I've got the mouse and keyboard.
No. That's still technically a PC.
Well, but so's a Series X. It's a PC now,
dude,
isn't it?
What's the point of that? I don't see the point of that, John.
Because I can play it in 4K now.
This guy.
On a big screen.
Yeah.
Instead of a little PC monitor, I can play it on my big TV.
Okay, fair enough. You traded a small monitor for. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
But you're still PC gaming, technically.
Yeah, but then I say,
the day you pick up the controller,
I'm playing it on a Series X.
That's when you become a man.
TV,
yeah. Anyway, moving on. Anything else on that, John? No. Good choice. I did call that, so I win the bet.
Yeah. I think he did it on purpose.
Wow, that's number one, John.
No, well, what did you think my number one would be then?
I thought it was going to be Division. No?
She was saying
Division.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did actually think that.
Right, I won't go into as details as John was, because
had we done this episode 6 months ago or more, it probably would have been up there.
Yeah, I won't go into details as much as my one, because I can't. The only fact that I picked it as number one is because it's my favourite franchise of all time, Gears of War.
Yeah.
That was obviously going to be obvious. Yeah. I go back to those all the time. We go back to those online, doing Horde mode or whatever.
Yeah.
if you've listened to previous episodes, you know I'm a massive fan of it. Had to be number one. And yeah, I can't really say anything else about it. Love the game, love the story, love the characters. Yeah. Give it a go. Give them all a go.
Absolutely.
What's your number 2, sir?
All right, yeah. It was going to be, everyone knows me, Metal Gear, but it's not.
No. Whoa.
Because it's not accessible. You know, you can't get the original game.
It's true,
now, so I chose it wisely.
Okay.
So I went for something different, but it's still something you guys know of.
Hey.
Just hear me out.
Persona.
No.
Pokemon.
Pokemon.
He hasn't mentioned the first
It's Pokemon Go on the mobile phone, and it's the only game that I'll go back to and I back to and back
Called
to.
it.
Oh my god!
Right.
I can see it.
John, we called it.
Not Pokemon Go. Come on now.
Pokemon.
And it's
Still a Pokemon game. I called it. I said it would have to be Pokemon.
But it's different.
Yeah, I
It's
suppose.
different.
Yeah.
It's a mobile game.
Exactly.
In his defense, though, it took the world by storm because I saw the shift. Because that morning I left for work, right, and there was rumors.
Dude, there's a community for this shit.
Absolutely,
I joined that community.
But you know how
and
quick
like on
it was.
weekends they were actually going around
Yes.
Croydon,
You
and
know
I was
what?
like, Jesus.
I'm really sorry. I've got to quickly fit this in because this one, seriously, I see where he's coming from on this because it's kind of like that morning. I remember I went to work, right, and my cousins were talking about it. What's that? It was a new Pokemon game came out. It came out. It launched around 11 o'clock in the morning, something like that, right? By the time I came home, I got off the train and I was walking past Fig's Marsh near my house, you know the place, Gal, right? And there was all these kids like zombies walking around with their phones. And I was like, it took them 7 fucking hours for them to do that. That's how fast it was.
Mental.
But that's how crazy it was. And then the rest was history. There's a church at my end of the road and I walked up and then there's a few people there and they all started laughing. It's like, Pokemon Go? And I was like, yeah. This game came out 9 hours ago at this point. You know, it was incredible. That's how much it was. But Gal, over to you. Sorry, I didn't say that. Replayability, yes.
Yeah, it's something. Then
So it still goes today.
Yeah,
Really?
because obviously,
running?
as the game releases, there's new Pokemon that comes out every gen. I think we're on the 8th generation. On the Pokemon Go, I believe we're on the 6th or 7th. I haven't logged into this year yet, but I have previously done it. I'm kind of up to date anyway.
Yeah,
and it's just. I remember when it came out, man. I was doing this dangerous thing. I was driving and just like flicking it as I was.
as you were
Yeah, just flicking the ball. Like, it's easier as well if you trust me because I'm not gonna fucking walk around.
No.
You know, like as I was driving to work, I'm like flicking the Pokemon stops and oh shit, and park up somewhere. And literally, I was parking. Oh, I need to catch this Pidgey.
Oh my god!
But like, I originally loved the first gen. I got all of them. Second gen, it was still good. I stuck around to the third, and then it was like, okay, I stopped. But it kept coming back. I was like, fuck. The community for it is amazing. Like, there's like apps and like people, if you follow them, they'll be like, we're going to do it in this raid. Oh, if you're going to come down here. Oh man, I went to one of them like for like 2 weeks, and then I stopped. But it was worth it because you get all these different. It's fun. It's a little fun thing. But I'm not into it as much, but I do occasionally. I still got it on my phone. I think I literally logged in just before Christmas in December. But yeah, it's just it's something like it's like you said. It was when it was released. I think it's one of the top online games. Like they destroyed it, and it doesn't even have. It does have money involved. I haven't like spent a single penny on it. You can all like unlock.
You obviously
it as
don't
go.
have to spend.
Yeah, you don't have to.
That's good.
Yeah.
Like, it's just good fun, just catching these bastards. Yeah, but they've added more stuff to it since. But yeah, it's good.
Nice, good choice.
And I thought it was quite. It relates to the topic.
Yeah,
top
absolutely.
five,
That's what it's all about.
Instead of me putting Metal Gear in again, so I know it's Pokemon, but it's something different.
It had to be one of the two, didn't it?
Go cool.
Right.
Last man standing.
well, you know what the answer is.
There we go.
Yeah, go on, say it.
I don't, but go on.
Okay. Oh, do you know?
I know, go on. I want you to say it.
John, you might know.
Well, you're number one.
Yeah, go on. Have a guess, really quickly.
I'm actually.
Okay, go on.
I'm
Go on, no.
Is it a Ubisoft game?
No.
I don't know.
Is it a Call of Duty game?
No, he's already said.
No. GTA.
Yes!
GTA. You know when I talk about GT?
Yeah.
I clocked on. I know what your game is.
Because you turned right. You did turn
But
right.
I just went blank there.
Yeah.
I had to think about it for a second. I was like,
Yeah.
what else
I
did you
love
play?
your
It was Assassin's
videos.
Creed? No, GTA.
I used to love your little videos.
So what?
you
As
see
in
the
all of
videos
them?
showing- yes.
As in all of them, or just one in
I'm
particular?
going to have to say GTA Online. So the
Okay.
online replayability for me. So it's the first game, and that spanned 3 console generations, from the PS3 to PS4 to the PS5. It started on the PS3. That's when the online came, and I'll never forget. Like,
It's what.
you know-
Go on.
yeah, go on, go. No, say your thing, say your
It's
thing.
another
Say it.
game I would.
It's
I
because
would
people like
love
you,
to
they're
go
not
back
making
to.
the next game. They keep playing online.
It's because I totally agree. This is the reason why I kind of stopped last year, and I hope that maybe other players would do the same. Well, not because I directed that, but I just hope that maybe we will just.
Do you think
forget
if
this
like
game.
GTA wasn't,
You know?
if Call of Duty wasn't out every year,
Yeah.
people would stay on that other games previously
Probably.
online until the new one
until
came
the new
out?
one came out? Yeah. 100%, man. I'm telling you, this is it's. I don't know how the game did it, but I feel it because I keep on going back to it. Like over 3.
I mean, the map
console
is
generations.
huge.
That's the thing, and the map hasn't changed. It's exactly the same map. It's the first time they've done this in any game. Like for example, games like Fortnite, they're always changing the map. Like Warzone lasted 2 years, and they had to change the map.
Yeah.
GTA's lasted 2003. Coming up to 9 years now. It's the same map. And I recently, so as soon as you, John, you and Ant announced this episode on Saturday, the Sunday I downloaded it and played it and that was after 2 years. That was the last time I'd play it, and playing on the 5th gen, and it was just
And you went back to it.
incredible.
Nostalgic, isn't it?
Exactly. It's like going away for 2 years, living out and coming back home. Like Los Santos was my home, and it's I came back and it was just everything was great about it. Like when it first started on the PS3, it started with a few issues.
PS3.
That's the thing.
See, I remember when it first came out.
PS3.
Top down these little squares for cars.
Yeah,
I used to-
like the
I
original
That was in the
GTA.
1800s, John.
Yeah.
before
In
games,
gaming
yeah.
years. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But yeah, that was
Right. So, and you start off as a small character. And I said this on the first ever episode, season 1, episode 1, right? It's just like, number 1 game for me. And the reason is because, it's just like, because I'm happy that this is an episode about replayability, so I can delve into that. And the reason why it is because the Rockstar, again, were the first to pioneer that whole,
game
we're going to release DLCs, free DLCs. Again, no money was spent on this.
No.
And it's going to be new missions. And as it was gaining money,
Money.
they were able, money. They put more production value to the point where the latest DLC, right? Okay, hired Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and Eminem and everyone. They're all in the video game. Like, come on, who does that?
Yeah.
No one but the power of
Rockstar
Rockstar
does.
Absolutely, exactly. And then I still haven't played those missions. I still, there were so many other games I was playing, and that's what it does. It just keeps on bringing you back. For me, this is the definition of replayability. You can leave it and then come a generation, console generation cycle later, and then there'll be new things added to it. And even if it's the old things, you're still going to love it,
Yeah, but it's like,
And,
it's like my one. I mean, there's a lot of people, they've gone off and they've made other maps for the game.
Yeah,
so
right,
you
like
can
mods
choose,
and stuff.
Yeah, you can choose to play the map. They keep patching the game all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So even though the original map itself is the same over all these years, they'll add maybe another village into it. They'll add every now and again. They'll add more weapons and stuff. So you've always got something to find.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's the same with
there.
GTA. There's always something new being added.
Definitely. Yeah,
The remastered version looks amazing.
Oh, it's crazy. And even just you look at the map, right, when the first GTA came out, there was these little, you have the map and it has the little icons of where things are. It was hardly anything. And now it's just it's surrounded with loads of activities. It's populated. Yeah. But there's not more I can say to that.
Again, it's one of those just goes hand in hand with the title.
Yeah.
That, you keep going
come
back to
home. Yeah, and you see the great thing about it is your character develops. So I did this weird thing, the whole photography thing, where you take a selfie from the first week I played it, and it's this skinny little dude who's wearing like a tracksuit, and he's got no money at all, and he's just he's a stolen car, and then fast forward, and he's wearing a suit, sunglasses, with a jet, because now you see this guy from this to this, and wow, you did that online.
You went from nothing to Scarface.
Exactly. Yeah. So you could live
and
that
the fun
fantasy.
you had in between,
yeah, and the fun in between, with all the friends that you've met, people online, it's just it was a good journey. Exactly, but definitely replayability.
Nice, some good choices there, guys. John, good choice for an episode, mate. Well done for that.
Amazing.
Thank you very much.
Well done,
anything else you want to add to that at all? No honorable mentions, anything? If not, we'll just end it there.
Yeah.
Good day,
That was it.
Okay, then. We'll end it there then, guys. So if you like what you listen to, follow us on Facebook at the M.T.V.B podcast, or
on Instagram at M.T.V.B podcast.
Or on TikTok at M.T.V. Podcast 197.
Or on Twitter, M.T.V. Podcast 1.
Nice, guys. Like it. In the meantime, this is Ant-Man.
JK47.
Go cool.
Gao, aka Grey Fox.
And we're all signing off, guys. See you soon.
Enjoy,
See you
guys.
later.
Take care. Bye.
Peace out.
Ciao.
Rude boy.
Rage.
Yeah.